The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Mike Williams, we hardly knew ye. The Jets have finally traded the wide receiver to the Pittsburgh Steelers. We will react to that move, what it means for the Jets, and much more. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started. Man, our Jets are primed for a historic season.
We didn't let the outside noise and world divide us. That game right there represents exactly where the process of this thing is. We're all we got. We're all we need, man. That's it.
Your first win, man.
Yeah.
We bleed Jets green each and every day. This is not the same old Jets. We have Aaron freaking Rodgers. We have Garrett Wilson. Let's go. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinnen Williams. The Jets bandwagon is loaded. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show. Here we go, Jet fans. Our first breaking news live stream since we hit over 40,000 subscribers. So thank you all again for your support. We're presented today by Huga House. Get the hat I'm wearing. Get the hat Aaron Rodgers is always wearing. Plus plenty of other Jet players, athletes, celebrities, and more. By using promo code Asman at checkout at hugahouse.com, you'll save 15%. Buy one hat for 15%. The second hat is 30% off. So check it out, hugahouse.com. Shout out to them for sponsoring today's show. Mike Williams has been traded, and look, it felt like this was going to happen a couple weeks ago, and then when it didn't, right, they didn't trade him. Then Allen Lazard goes on injured reserve, meaning he's out at least another 3 games. It felt like, okay, well, the Jets aren't going to trade Mike Williams anymore. They're going to just keep him on the team. Maybe he's not going to have a big role, but at least he's a guy that we have seen even this year, well, not often, could go up and make a play or two. So I am a little surprised that after the Lazard injury, this deal happened. I said this morning when talking about the possibility of Mike Williams being traded, the only way I think it would make sense for the Jets to do it is if they got some sort of package that would be a no-brainer. That, okay, you got this deal and you're like, yep, got to make this trade. Makes total sense. And this to me is not that. If it was a 4th rounder, I think I would be on board with this move. Right? The Cowboys, I thought, were out of their minds to trade a 4th rounder to the Panthers for Jonathan Mingo. If the Jets got that for Mike Williams, I'd say, you know what? That does make some sense. Because you look at Mike Williams' role in this team right now, he's the 4th wide receiver once Lazard is healthy. I mean, that's his role. He's the 4th wide receiver if Allen Lazard was healthy. And I guess the Jet logic here is that they feel like Lazard will be back after the bye week. And obviously, getting a 5th rounder in their eyes was too good of a value to pass up for a guy who wouldn't be here next year. And there's only 8 games left in the season. That's the Jets' thought process here. Now, Joe Douglas making this move is a little surprising, too, because you'd think, well, why would he make the team worse in the short term when he needs to win to stay alive? And the Jets are basically playing for their season on Sunday. So maybe the thought process also is, look, we could win or lose versus the Cardinals with or without Mike Williams. We have a chance to get a 5th rounder for a guy who's barely played for us. We could do right by the player. Maybe that comes back to help us in the offseason if that agent of Mike Williams represents other guys we want. Maybe that's part of this too, but I have no idea if Joe Douglas is even here. So I thought, all right, he's probably not going to trade Mike Williams because you're not going to get a whole lot for him. I mean, a 5th round pick's more than what I thought they could get for a guy who's coming off an ACL and really hasn't played a lot this year. Right? Mike Williams has 12 catches as a Jet this season in 9 games. No touchdowns. It's not like he's had a huge impact. But you look at the details of this trade, the only way I think it makes sense from a Jet perspective is they have a legitimate plan to use Malachi Corley more. Because right now, you look at this offense on Sunday, and in 11 personnel, it's Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams. And yeah, those two guys, arguably the best wide receiver duo in the league. And we saw how special they could be in tandem on Thursday. But then after that, Malachi Corley should be playing over Xavier Gipson. And my fear is this is going to mean more Xavier Gipson and not Malachi Corley. I mean, the other options on this team right now on the active roster is Herb Charles, right? You have Gipson and Corley, who now on the depth chart with Lazard out, slot behind Wilson and Adams. And you have Herb Charles. If you look at the practice squad, Jason Brownlee and Brandon Smith are your only two options. So I hope that this means we do see more Malachi Corley. Otherwise, I think they should have just held on to Mike Williams. A fifth-round pick is nothing. I'm not saying it's not meaningless. You could find decent players in the fifth. It's not the craziest thing in the world, but I would have just held on to Mike Williams because Lazard's out another 3 games. And what if there's an injury now to Devontae or Garrett in a game? Then you're really, really thin at wide receiver. The other thing I hope this means, I hope Todd Downing starts using Breece Hall as a true wide receiver in some packages. They did it a couple times. On Thursday, I noticed being in the stands, Aaron didn't look Breece's way in this scenario, but we saw earlier this year Breece line up as a receiver on the outside and beat a linebacker in Tennessee and catch an unbelievable go ball for a touchdown. I want to see more of that. I'd argue Breece is the third best receiver on this team. It's Garrett, Devontae, and then Breece. And once again, Lazard is still out for a minimum of 3 games. He has this weird chest injury that we thought was maybe week to week. They didn't put him on IR for the first game he missed against New England, and then they put him on IR for the Texans game, meaning he's missing a total of 5 games, but certainly at least the next 3. So I would have just kept Mike Williams. The only way I think this move makes sense is if we see Malachi Corley get involved. Because I know what Xavier Gipson is. He's, a borderline rosterable player. The Jets love him for his special teams ability. We really haven't seen that much this year. He'll be synonymous in Jet history with the punt return against Buffalo in week 1. But that's really been it for Xavier Gipson. He had a nice punt return, if you guys recall, in London that set up a Lazard touchdown at the end of the first half. I was there that day at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. That's really been it for Gipson. So I hope we see Malachi Corley more involved in this offense. If not, I would give Jason Brownlee a chance or Brandon Smith a chance. I'm not the biggest Xavier Gipson guy. I don't need to see any targets going to Herb Charles. So I don't love this. Now, the other spin here, and look, I don't know if Joe Douglas is still even awake after making this move or he's going back into hibernation. I have no idea. But the other scenario I could see playing out here, if the Jets could turn this 5th-round pick they acquired into something that helps them, then I can understand it. Like maybe there's another move here we're not thinking of. It's just after 2 o'clock on November 5th, meaning there's under 3 hours to go until the trade deadline. So maybe there is another move we're not thinking of. Maybe they turn that 5th-round pick into Nathan Shepard with the Saints and get an interior defensive tackle. And basically, you gave up nothing to help your team. You turned Mike Williams, who was a non-factor, into an asset that you used to get someone that actually could help your team. Maybe that's the other thing we're missing here. But unless that happens, a 5th-round pick is not enough for me to trade Mike. And I know he has not been good. He's been disappointing. He had the whole incident at the end of the Bills game where he was in the wrong spot with the red line, and Rodgers obviously was pissed off about that. You had to play the previous week in Minnesota where I didn't think Rodgers threw a good ball, but obviously they weren't on the same page on that route, and that ended up being an interception. And I always go back to what Randall Cobb said on Hard Knocks when he was having a meeting with the other wide receivers saying, if you run the wrong route, he will not throw you the ball. He does not like throwing interceptions. And obviously, Mike Williams lost Aaron Rodgers in that 2-game span there. And it's a shame because Mike Williams, I thought, had one of the bigger catches of this bleak season in week 2 on that 2nd and 19 on the game-winning drive in Tennessee. I thought he had a nice night against New England the following week as well.
And he was going to start to make some plays for this team, and it just never happened. So I'm not that upset that he's gone. I just think for a 5th-round pick, I would have held on to the guy, with the caveat being, if this means Corley's more involved, I'm willing to give it a chance. Because that's the only way I think you could spin it positively. It's like, okay, you created a spot for Malachi Corley, but I think it's going to mean more Xavier Gibson. And more Xavier Gibson, I don't think makes the Jets a better team. Now, the only other thing I'll say about Gibson is I know Rodgers for a fact loves the guy. And we saw Lazard went from unplayable last year to competent just because Rodgers could get him the ball and they're on the same page. So maybe Xavier Gibson will be better than I'm giving him credit for, with more opportunity to play now. I hope. I try to be positive on this show, but this team's 3-6. They really don't deserve the benefit of the doubt. And this is now the second year in a row Joe Douglas has acquired a guy in the offseason, a veteran wide receiver, that we thought was going to help this team and add a different element to that wide receiver room, only for them to be traded by the deadline. Last year is Mecole Hardman. This year it's Mike Williams. And it's a shame because Mike Williams is a good guy. In fact, one of our listeners, I won't say who, was at an event last night with Mike Williams and said he couldn't have been nicer. Gave no indication he was about to be traded. And once Lazard got placed on IR, I didn't think he would be traded. But you look at the final stat lines for Mike Williams: 9 games, 12 catches, 166 yards, 0 touchdowns. I mean, he had more breakfast sandwiches from Jet fans than he did touchdowns as a Jet. You know, it is what it is. I hope the New York Jets could turn this 5th-round pick into a defensive tackle that could stop the run. Then I'll be on board with this move. I hope the New York Jets now have a role for Malachi Corley. I know he had the dumb drop on the touchdown the other night, but the guy's talented. You took him at the beginning in the 3rd round. He was essentially a late 2nd-round pick. You told everyone he was your 4th-graded wide receiver. You put it out on one Jets drive that you were trying to trade up for the guy since the middle of the 2nd round, and he has no role in your team. Find a role for Corley. And I'm sure he'll never make that mistake again that he made on Thursday. There's just no way. So I hope they find a role for the guy. Because if they don't, and it's just Gibson out there, and he's the same Xavier Gibson we've seen, I don't really see how this makes a ton of sense for the Jets. The value's not awful when you see what some of these other receivers are going for. But I think in a year you're desperate to win, getting a 5th-round pick for Mike Williams, there better be more to this, as we've covered. Comments, questions, super chats will cut the line. Reminder to all the Jake Asman Show viewers that this show is available in podcast form wherever you get your podcasts, either on Apple and or Spotify. So search the Jake Asman Show and support us there. Reminder to check out our merch store to all our new subscribers. JakeAsman.com is where you can get your Jake Asman merch, including this awesome hoodie that I'm wearing right now for the fall season ahead. Also, if you're a Patreon member, make sure you use the promo code if you plan on buying merch, as you'll save 15% on every item. Let's see what you guys are thinking. As always, appreciate all the super chats. They help pay the bills around here, and you guys are awesome for supporting this channel. RB writes in, I trust Mike Williams on the field for a big catch more than Lazard 100%. See, I disagree with you on this because Lazard has made some pretty big catches this year. He's also had some brutal drops, but Rodgers trusts him more. So you might trust Mike Williams, but the quarterback doesn't, and that's really the big thing. Darth Crypto, hoping he uses that 5th for a run blocker. Go Jets. If they could turn the 5th-round pick in 2025, that's this year's draft, into Nathan Shepard, into, trying to think of some of the other possible guys, John Jenkins, into Shelby Harris, I think it's a good move. I'm assuming it's Douglas making these moves, right? Joe's up from his nap. He's still the GM. Drew with a super chat, and Asmaniac super chat. We're seeking channel members like Drew. So if you guys hit the join button, you could become an official Asmaniac here on the channel. Send that same fit to Philly for Bryce Huff and sign a fat boy DT. Quentin Jefferson isn't huge, but he's not a bad idea. Browns just cut him. Browns cut Jefferson earlier. I'd bring him in if I'm the Jets. I think that makes sense. Now, as far as Bryce Huff goes, I think that ship has sailed. I do. Big fella writes in, my son who's watching right now told me Quentin Jefferson was released. JD needs to get him. Agreed. Yeah, I saw that earlier. I tweeted about it. And then the Mike Williams thing happened. Omari writes in, keeping Mike for how we are using him for the last couple of games wouldn't make sense. I'd want them to pick up a big guy. Yeah, they could turn this into a defensive tackle. I understand it. But you got to win on Sunday. That's my big thing. It's like your season is essentially, it might be over now. Let's be real. The odds are against the Jets being able to pull this off. But if you're going to win Sunday, ask yourself, who gives you a better chance to win, Mike Williams or a 5th-round pick you got for Mike Williams in a draft next year where you don't know if the GM who made this deal is even going to be here to make that pick? I don't know, man. Teams value draft picks way differently than we view it as fans. Like a 5th for Mike Williams. By the way, pretty good deal the Jets got for Devontae, getting him for a 3rd. Hennessy says, should have gotten a bacon, egg, and cheese instead. Tough to argue with that one. It's a bummer it didn't work with Mike because I don't think there was any fan that was not on board with that move when they made it. We always knew it would take him a little bit to get going coming off the ACL, but I think what's crazy about Mike Williams is felt like at times he had a better rapport with Rodgers at the beginning of the year than even Garrett did. And then those two got on the same page and they've been great, obviously. But Mike Williams in Tennessee made a huge catch. He had a nice night against New England in the home opener, and then that was it. Omari with a super chat. With a victory this week, what teams do we need to lose this week? Well, I could give you a precursor to how the New York Jets could actually be the 7th seed within 2 weeks. Ready? Here's all that needs to happen for the Jets to do it. Week 10, that's this week. Thursday night, you need a Ravens win over Cincinnati. You need the Chiefs to beat Denver. Obviously, the Jets need to win on Sunday against the Cardinals. Week 11, Jets need to beat the Colts, and the Falcons need to beat the Broncos. Boom, the Jets are the 7th seed just like that. It's not crazy. Here's what the Jets need to do. Win football games. They're 3-6. I truly believe if the Jets handle their business, the rest will take care of itself. Some of these teams in front of them have difficult schedules. Denver, for example, has yet to play Kansas City once this year. They'll play them twice. That should be 2 losses. So it's all in front of the Jets. But I hate when we talk about how, the schedule's easy for the Jets and they could do this, they could do that. They just lost to New England last week. So you can't worry about anything else other than the Jets handling their own business. That's all that matters. Win games and the rest takes care of itself. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Let's see what you guys are thinking. Shout out to Andrew Fialco, who's in here. Great film review yesterday with Andrew Fialco. He says, I don't like the move. I'm with you, Andrew. I don't love it. You talked yesterday, though, on the show about Malachi Corley getting more involved. Hopefully this creates an opportunity for him. The problem with this is that we hope, and we as Jet fans hope for a lot of things, and most of them don't come to fruition. So I'm skeptical. Comments, questions, super chats, take your calls as well on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline, which is now open.
If you go to gusbuster.com, you could purchase the best umbrella in the universe. And you could use the promo code Jake, so you'll get 15% off on any of your umbrellas.
Let's say hello first up to Jay Graves. What's up, Jay Graves?
Hey. First, I want to thank Boom, Tom, and Rich. I'm very honored to be on the Asmaniac list. I don't know how I got on there, but cool. So, with this, yeah. I get the trade. Like, I know he hasn't had a ton of production. Him and Aaron are on the same page. But why are we always trading to teams who we might be in contention with wildcard spots for?
That's the other thing, too. You made Pittsburgh better, and you might be dealing with them at the end of the year.
It would be the most Jet thing that he'd go on a run in Pittsburgh, and, we would, it'd be us and them, and then we would get the 8 and maybe 7, and we miss the playoffs. I don't even know if we're going to go there. I mean, I'm still riding the high off Halloween. And we're like, we can go on a run. Dude, we haven't won 3 games in a row. If we win 2 and then 3, and then maybe we could talk in the bye, I'm still, Arizona's not going to be easy. You know what I mean? Like, they're not an easy team. Like, they're rolling, and we're at their house. And like I said, I know Mike Williams, he's not a lot of production to replace. And I do like Corley. I hope to see more of him, but I don't know. It might be my broken Jets brain, but part of me is like, oh, this is going to bite us in the ass. That's just how I feel about it right now. I'm like, ugh, I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough not to expect the worst when it comes to the Jets. I will say the value, like, it's not terrible given his production this year and the fact that he's 30 coming off an ACL and wouldn't be here next year. But while I don't think the value is terrible, I think at this point, with Lazard on IR, I felt like the Jets' hand was almost forced to just keep him by that point.
Yeah,
Clearly,
when
it wasn't.
gets hurt, when Derek gets hurt, like
Right.
when we're SOL, what are we going to do then? So you keep him for a rainy day type thing. Like, he wasn't costing you that much. Like, he's done at the end of the year. Just keep him. But no, we have to sell him away. Not happy.
Yep. That's tough, Jay Graves. Good call. I'm glad you could make this call, and it was great to watch a Jet game with you in person on Thursday.
Well, the win definitely helped. They hadn't the won. I don't know how that game would have won at the end, but that definitely was like the cherry on top.
Yep.
It was a good day.
Thanks, Jay Graves. Great call. Oh, man. That's the other thing, too. I should have said this in the monologue. I mean, you made Pittsburgh, in theory, better. Now, I don't know. I can't go crazy and act like, oh, Mike Williams now is going to be unbelievable for the Steelers. But I will say this. Russell Wilson does throw a good deep ball. Like, I guarantee you that Pittsburgh will utilize Mike Williams better than how the Jets have. The Jets gave Mike Williams no opportunities to do what he was known for with the Chargers. Right? Remember Tyrod Taylor had the quote that a 50-50 ball is more like an 80-20 ball with him? How many times do they throw it up and let Mike Williams make a play? The same exact play Garrett Wilson did what he did on. They never gave Mike Williams any chances with that. Never used him in the red zone. And when we did film reviews on this guy, that's his game. So I'm not going to sit here and act like, oh my God, how could they trade Mike Williams? Because he wasn't doing anything for the Jets. But I'd argue they also did not really tap into his strengths. You know, can Corley catch a slant over the middle? I mean, I guess he could. He did it against New England for his only career catch in week 3, excuse me. That was the only, like, notable reception Mike Williams had last Thursday against Houston. But why do I feel like it's just going to be Xavier Gibson and Corley's still not going to have any role? And then, by the way, that doesn't mean Corley's going to end up being a bad pick. Will McDonald barely played last year. That was one of the best rushers in the league. But just feels like the Jets sometimes, not even sometimes, all the time, they wait too long, they're too patient with their players. There needs to be more of, hey, we got to win now, man. We got to fix this now. There needs to be more of a sense of urgency. Look how long they waited till they finally got rid of Greg Zuerlein. Created a fake injury to put him on IR because they're paying him a lot of money. They never got a backup quarterback last year. That's the most glaring example, but there's so many instances of this. Omari with a super chat. Appreciate your support, Omari. I feel like Hall and Allen are going to have a big game this week. I'm very worried about Buda Baker. He's sneaky good. Rodgers on McAfee just before raving about how good Buda Baker is. So, yeah, Jets got to score points this week. No other way around it. It's going to take at least 28 points, I think, to win this game to feel comfortable. More of your calls. Kyle Clifton is up next on the Gusbuster Hotline this show. What's up, Kyle? You're on mute, Kyle.
There we go. Sorry about that. I don't think the Jets think they're competing with the Steelers for a playoff spot. I think that they think that they're going to either win the division or that they can't leapfrog them. I don't think that last weekend went particularly well for us with the Ravens winning and the Chargers winning. I agree with you that they got good value for Williams if you're going to trade him. That said, I love the player. I've always loved the player. And the fan in me wanted me to see them kind of play it out. But if they think that they're done, or they think, well, we have to kind of hedge our bets, getting a fit for Mike Williams is pretty good value. I think you're going to see a lot of what you had said before. I think you're going to see a lot of Corley coming into the lineup. You're going to see a lot of Brees split out wide on occasion until Lazard can get back, and they're going to see if they can hold the fort until then. I don't know if I would have necessarily done the trade myself, But for what they got back for him, I would never imagine they would have gotten a fifth for Mike Williams.
Yeah, I'm surprised they got a fifth for him. I thought at best they were talking about maybe like a sixth, or I thought even it'd be like one of those like pick swap type of things too. I mean, the NFL trades are really hard to figure out sometimes. Look what Ladarius Smith went for today. Then look at what Mingo went for today. Look at what Devontae and Cooper ended up going for. And now Mike Williams, who's got less production than all these guys, is going for a fifth. Like
it's what one team is willing to pay. And it's really that easy. That said, I think that there was a lot of untapped potential there with Mike Williams. To me, it also might signal that Douglas has a lot of confidence from the ownership. So we'll see how the fans feel about that. But it is what it is. We're going to have to put our best foot forward and on to Arizona.
Yep. I just hope it means we get to see a little more Corley going forward. That's my big thing. I know he had the screw up on Thursday. I killed him for it, rightfully so. It's moronic, dumb, whatever adjective you want to use. But you basically took this guy in the late second round. Play him. Big fella with a super chat. Mike Williams taking the red line bus to Pittsburgh. The Jet beat reporters couldn't wait to make jokes. Brian Costello, I saw, tweeted like, Mike Williams' final stats with the Jets. 12 catches, 166 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 missed red line, 1 breakfast sandwich. Crazy. Brian with a super chat. Jake, I told you last time we're going on a run straight to the championship. I'll see you at the parade. We can't afford any more losses. So you're not even talking about making the playoffs, Brian. You're talking about a run to the Super Bowl.
Playoffs?
No. He's talking Super Bowl, Jim Mora, not playoffs.
Playoffs? Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
That's how I feel, man. That's how I felt on Thursday. We won a game. Nice. We win 2 games in a row. Wouldn't that be something? Mike Williams traded to the Steelers for a 5th-round pick. Other note on the Jets from today, The Athletic reporting, quote, the Commanders called several teams looking for a top corner. They reached out to the Jets about DJ Reed, but were told by the Jets he was not available. Here's what I gather on DJ Reed. 1, Jets absolutely love the player. We know this. He's a leader. He's having a phenomenal season. 2, it's still probably unlikely the Jets will pay him because they know they got to pay Sauce, if not this offseason, then down the line. But 3, here's why the Jets, I believe, won't trade DJ Reed. Because they understand what that would, 1, do to the locker room, and 2, they understand if he leaves in free agency, they're set up to get a comp pick for him. So they're going to weigh the value of what they could get now versus knowing that they could have him for the rest of the year, still have a chance to make a run, and he's a huge part of this defense. And they know they're going to get something for him when he leaves in free agency in the form of a compensatory pick. So I think that played into the Jet thought process too. I wouldn't have traded DJ Reed. Now, if I got a massive offer, you consider it. But I don't think Washington was trading you a 3rd and 4th for DJ Reed the same way they traded that to get Marshawn Lattimore from the Saints. Lattimore is a couple of years younger. And he's got more of a history than Reed. He's more of a known quantity, even though I think DJ Reed is still underrated nationally. I don't think you were getting a 3rd and 4th for DJ Reed. I don't. But Jets willing to move Mike Williams, not DJ Reed. Now, can they add a defensive tackle against the run today? Quentin Jefferson, we know, is out there. Can they trade for Nathan Shepard? Can they trade for John Jenkins? They have less than 3 hours to do it. Henny writes in, Corley would have multiple touchdowns on another team. Yeah, I think if you put Malachi Corley on the Chiefs, he would be having a role in playing. I mean, why would I give the Jets the benefit of the doubt? I'm not saying Corley needs to be like heavily featured in the offense, but find a way to use him now. Ralphie says, do the Jets use Herb Charles in the Mike Williams role? I mean, I hope not, but Herb Charles got a target in the end zone against Pittsburgh. I mean, right now the Jets have Garrett and Devontae. There are other options for the 3rd receiver on this team It's Xavier Gibson, Malachi Corley, or Herb Charles, as far as the 3 other receivers on the active roster. On the practice squad, they could elevate Jason Brownlee or Brandon Smith. I hope it means we see more of Corley. I hope it means, hey, maybe we use Breece Hall as a receiver a little more. Guy is number 1 in the NFL amongst running backs and receiving yards. That's what I hope happens. More of your calls right now. Let's say hello to Neil, who's next. Hello, Neil.
What's up, Jake?
How are you feeling?
I hate these moves. I don't know what the, what do we get from a 5th round pick or 4th?
5th round pick.
I mean, we don't even have a fifth. Who was our 5th round pick? The running back that's sitting that runs kicks back once a week. We have nobody we even use in the 5th round. We don't
Izzy
even
was
use
a 5th
Corley.
round pick. Yeah.
We don't even use Corley. He's the 3rd round pick.
Are you talking about Isaiah Davis? Isaiah Davis this year
Davis.
And Jordan Travis were the 5th round picks this year.
I mean,
Quantez
come
Stiggers.
on.
They have 3 5th round picks this year, Neil.
I know, but still, they're not. Mike Williams is a good receiver that we could use. I don't understand this team. I really don't get it. What are they trying to do? Trade for the future? I don't get it. I don't get it. This is a stupid move. I don't give a shit. DJ Reed, I don't give a shit if they offered a 1 for the guy. We need him. He's our best defensive player.
Well, hold on. If they offered a 1 for DJ
But
Reed,
what are we
going to
do?
Here.
Are we trying to win now or next year?
Yes, but they're 3-6, Neil. If I got a 1 for DJ Reed, I would have to make that deal. Because then I could add a player that could help this team with a real coach next year and still draft the quarterback, assuming Rodgers is back. And
I get it. I'm just saying. They're not offering a 1 for him anyway.
No. I understand your point, Neil. If this was me, I wouldn't have made this move. I would have just kept Mike. I'm not. The value's not bad considering the other trades out there, but I just would have kept him at this point.
But yeah, I'm telling you right now, Mike Williams with Russell Wilson will throw him pop-ups, and he's going to catch everything you throw up in the air like a punt. I don't understand why we didn't throw them the ball at all. We didn't use the guy. And he's a good receiver. He's a good locker room guy. He doesn't complain. I know why they did this. His agent busted Douglas's chops, and he wanted out, and they let him go because that's what the Jets do. They pacify players to do it. It's the only explanation is that because and again, we don't use the roster. I watch Kansas City. They make use of every player on the roster. We stick with 1 player, 2 players. We don't use Corley. We don't use that. Now we're going to use Corley now after, come on. I'm frustrated, man. I'm frustrated. And now Quentin Jefferson got released and we still didn't pick him up yet. What the hell's Joe Douglas waiting for?
Well, it just happened. It just happened. You give it a couple hours.
He's better than the other guy you mentioned. I never liked him.
Solomon Thomas?
No. The guy you said is available.
Oh, Nathan Shepard.
Don't like him. He stunk. I think Quentin Jefferson's worlds better than him.
Shepard's last year with the Jets was pretty good.
I don't know, man. He reminded me of Clemens on an inside lineman. He never. I never saw him making plays, Jake. Never. I never saw him making plays for us.
He's better than what they currently have, though.
Yes, but Jefferson, come on, that's a no-brainer. The guy had sacks last year. He was in the backfield, a lot of tackles for loss. Look up the stats between these 2 guys last year. Nathan Shepard is a 0. If Nathan Shepard had a better year last year than Quentin Jefferson, I'll eat my sofa chair right now.
No, Quentin Jefferson was obviously good for the Jets last year. 14 games, he had 6 sacks, 34 tackles, 4 tackles for a loss, 13 quarterback hits. He had a nice year, and that was another example of this.
What
Jets
did
coaching
Shepard
staff.
do? Shepard didn't do shit. Show me Shepard. He probably didn't do half that.
Nathan Shepard last year with the Saints, 3.5 sacks, 50 tackles, 8 quarterback hits, 4 tackles for a loss. He wasn't a bad player last year, Neil.
But not that you see the numbers are drastically different. Quentin Jefferson had a great year for us.
I'd bring him back. I would bring him back.
Oh, yeah. That is a no-brainer. I mean, Douglas better not sleep on that one. That is a beautiful – I would love to see him on the field Sunday. Love. I mean, Carter has been okay, coming in once in a while. But, he gets pushed around a lot. I haven't seen him in the
Carter?
back. Carter the third, whatever the hell his name.
Leonard Taylor.
Taylor Carter. I always mix them up. But he's the third. I always call him the third. The third has not been an impact player this year. Do you agree with that?
I mean, he's a UDFA. He's made
I know.
some plays, though. They need more, Neil. I'm with you. I want Quentin Jefferson.
Right. Quentin Jefferson has 6.5 sacks last year.
Yeah, and I don't remember him being awful against the run, which is their bigger need than pass rush.
And he had a lot of tackles for loss and a lot of quarterback hits. Yes. I loved him, man. I loved him. Al Woods is not an issue, right? He's done, right? Probably. He's not coming back.
Yeah, I don't think he's playing this year. He was 36.
But you look at these other teams, Jake, they all have that 340-pound, guy in the middle to block, to do it. Look at Tampa Bay. They got 3 of them. They got 3 monsters. Kansas City has Pennell. I miss Pennell. Remember Pennell for us?
Pennell, yeah.
He was great. And Pennell is kicking ass on Kansas City. I see him in the backfield. He makes tackles for loss. He is a great player, and we miss guys like that. And we don't have anybody on our defensive line that could do that. And we need him. Against James Conner, man, he is going to break tackles. He's going to cause us a world of shit. And so is Taylor the next week. We got to get somebody to stop the run. That's all I got to say.
Neil, hang in there, all right?
I will.
These goddamn exploding cigars. Gotta go, Jake. I'll call back later. Shit.
Hit the like button if you're tuning in. There's over 600 of you in here live as we react to the news of the day for the Jets. Mike Williams, see ya. Gone. What was your favorite Mike Williams memory, boys and girls? Weren't that many to choose from. 5th round pick in this year's draft. The value's not bad, right? It's just not a move I look at and go, yep, no brainer, you had to do it. I just would have kept him. I'm holding out hope they could still maybe turn this 5th round pick into a player that could help them. Defensive tackle. Holding out hope that this means, okay, here's a role for Corley now in the offense, but I don't have any faith in the Jets coaching staff to do that. Big fella writes in, trade Herb Charles for Justin Hardy, sick of flags. I mean, if Hardy's available and you could bring him back, I would. I don't see that happening. Curly writes in, maybe we trade a 6th-round pick 5 years from now for JFM. Here's an idea. We keep JFM in the first place. What a concept. Jeremy Jets Chaos is here. Depth is more important than a 5th-round pick. If they're serious about making a run, are we selling? I don't believe they're selling, right? If they were selling, they would have traded DJ Reed, which they're not doing. I just think it's a combination of this guy was not on the same page with the quarterback. He was unhappy here, so you wanted to do right by him, which, my thoughts on that, it annoys me. When do the Jets do right by their fans and actually win games? Do right by guys. Enough. And then I also think it's simply they feel good about Gibson for whatever reason. They want to give him a role, and they want to give maybe Corley a role. I mean, I don't get it, but we hear how much they love Xavier Gibson. I remember Troy Aikman on the Monday night broadcast against the Bills. There was a moment in the game where he's like, and Aaron was raving to us about the Xavier Gibson. They expect him to have a role in this offense too. So we're going to see Xavier Gibson play more. That's what I think happens here. Do I love this move? No. I don't. I just would have kept Mike. Lazard's on IR. If Lazard was healthy right now, it would make a little more sense. But Sears with a great point here. This is so crazy, right? Is this an episode of The Twilight Zone, or are we really antsy to get Lazard back? They really need Alan Lazard back right now. Unless Gibson goes out there and makes me eat my words, or they make me eat my words and that Corley plays a role on Sunday and they look good against the Cardinals, they really got to hope that Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams stay healthy and that they get Alan Lazard back. Now, if you look at the schedule, they play on Sunday with extra rest, home Indy the week after, bye week. So they're playing twice in a month. But it's jet luck for an injury to happen. Big fella, LT3 outperformed Thomas and Kinlaw in limited reps. He's looked good from what I've seen, big fella. I will say, I thought Javon Kinlaw had his best game as a Jet on Thursday. Hopefully there's more of that to come. Kyle Clifton says, if you don't think the Jets could be 4 games better than Pittsburgh the rest of the way, then you don't worry about trading with them. Worry about the Ravens, Chargers, Denver. Fair. I don't know. I don't want to make Pittsburgh that much better. Because they'll be playing some teams you're going to, I don't know. I wish it was an NFC team, man. I get it. I just wish it was an NFC team. More of your calls right now. Sam Z's on the line. Hey, Sam.
Hey, Jake. Yeah, no, it's I kind of get it. I'm tell me if I'm going, completely crazy here, but Mike Williams' strength was the 50-50 ball in the air. And really, we don't see Aaron throw that ball very often. I mean, more of his passes have been direct line shots other than the Hail Mary, he does more of the timing routes and, try to, get guys who are already open. He doesn't throw a lot of 50-50 balls, which is also kind of part and parcel of why he has historically had low interception rates because he doesn't make the risky call usually. But I don't like the trade. I agree with what you said also, like, for the value, it's not that bad, but it also isn't really that good. But if they can turn this around, because now what do we have? We have 2 third-round picks and 2 fifth-round picks. Is that correct?
The Jets this year have 2 fifth-round picks?
Oh, they picked this one up, and then didn't they
Correct.
also get a third-round pick this upcoming year from another trade? I forgot which one.
The Lions, but they used that pick in the Devontae Adams deal.
They did. That's right. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. No, I don't. I really can't explain it. Maybe they're just trying to get some extra capital to move up somewhere in the next draft. Like throw your third to move up 10 spaces or something in the third round to get a guy. But I can't really imagine really where this is gonna really benefit.
Sam, we were losing here with the connection. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know who the GM is next year at this point. On one hand, I think Douglas making this move does kind of bode well for his future. So Mr. Bonesy out there is giddy. Right? Because Douglas is making a move that doesn't improve the football team in 2024. At least I don't think it does. Maybe they think, okay, Corley's ready for a role. He fits better with what Aaron in this offense wants to be. Or Gibson. I don't get the Gibson hype, but that to me could be like their logic if you try and like decipher it. But I also think it's like, well, Joe Douglas, he heard the owner say it's the most talented team in 25 years. So he's like, okay, well, let me get some value here from Mike Williams because I'm going to get to hire another coach. I'm not getting fired. I'm getting an extension, baby. And remember, technically, Joe Douglas wouldn't be fired at the end of the year's contract would just expire. Technically, Joe Girardi wasn't fired by the Yankees. His contract was up. Now, I looked it up. All right, let's go through Joe Douglas's draft history in the 5th round since he became the GM. Now, he was hired in June of 2019. We won't count that because he didn't make the draft picks that year. He got hired too late because the Jets are a dysfunctional mess over the last 15 years, and that is a prime example as to the Jets being the Jets, going back to that decision. But anyway, let's have McCagnon with Gase draft all the players and spend all the free agent money, and then we'll fire Mike McCagnon after the draft. Go Jets. Anyway, here were the 5th round picks that Joe Douglas has made in his history. Bryce Hall, that's a pretty good 5th round pick. He started for you. He's a good role player. That's what you want for a day 3 pick. 2021, Jason Pinnock, Michael Carter, Jamian Sherwood. You talk about 2 of the best picks Joe Douglas has made. Right there. Sherwood is a converted safety into one of the better young linebackers in the league. He's had a phenomenal season. He should be re-signed and be the starter next year as C.J. Mosley gets phased out. And I don't need to tell Jet fans how good Michael Carter has been. He's been banged up this year, but he's a guy that we know is one of the best nickel corners in the league, and they already extended him. 2022, they did not have a 5th round pick. They had 2 4th round picks. They took Mitchell and Clemens. Ruckert was a 3rd round pick. Brees, 2nd round. Jermaine, Garrett, Sauce, obviously the 3 first rounders. 2023, the New York Jets had a 5th-round pick. They took Israel Abanikanda. To this point, that has not been a hit. He's been a nothing burger. He's a backup depth running back, and who knows what opportunities he'll get with this team, if ever. This past year, in the 5th round, they took Jordan Travis. Who knows what he is at this point? He's a potential long-term developmental starter for you. Maybe. And then Isaiah Davis, who is on kick returns this year, plays special teams. That's about it. And then Quantez Stiggers, who knows? Maybe he'll play a little more next year. Maybe he's a DJ Reed replacement long-term. I don't know. But too early to judge this draft class. It's only 1 year. So there's been some hits and some what you would expect from a 5th-round pick since Douglas has been the GM. Now, the hits have been big hits, though. Sherwood's a really big hit. Carter's an unbelievable hit. But I don't know. The gamble of maybe Douglas hits on this 5th with Williams when we don't know if even Douglas is going to be here versus Lazard's on IR right now, I would have just kept Mike Williams. I don't think there's enough value, even though it's good value given the market, to make this move. I would have just kept Mike. Am I going to lose sleep over this? No. But it just feels like the Jets never really gave Mike Williams a chance to do what we thought he could do with this team. And that, to me, is once again a product of this coaching staff. And you can't blame Downing for all of it. Hackett had a lot to do with it at the beginning of the year. But I think by the time Downing took over, right, they gave Mike Williams a go ball in the last drive of the game against Buffalo, and he ran the wrong route. That play was drawn up for Mike Williams to go do what he does and make a play, and he blew his opportunity. So it's not all the Jets. It's also on Mike, too. It's also not all anyone's fault, right? He's coming off an ACL and took him some time to get healthy. Air Rozzy with a super chat. So stupid to trade to the Steelers. Why? If you're going to trade them, then go to the NFC. Only makes sense if they're going to get a run stuffer with the save money. I would expect the Jets to add a DT. I would. But they haven't to this point. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching live right now, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and check out the first show on the day. We released our first ever Asmaniac monthly power rankings, put together by Tom, put together by Rich, and put together by the great Boomtown. So check that out. If you're a Patreon member, get in the Discord, you'll see I posted the full list and the breakdown of how we determined who was ranked where. More of your calls right now. Let's say hello to Johnny Boy. Hello, Johnny Boy.
Money making Jake. What's going on, brother? How you holding up, man?
Hanging in, man. Hanging in. What do you think of the trade?
I think it's frustrating what could have been with Mike Williams. I think that's what I'm trying to combat within myself, because I was expecting him to, be the Mike Williams. I was catching these 50-50 balls and all this stuff like that. And unfortunately, it just didn't work out. And I think right now we're all battling who's going to replace that. I think it'd be a different story if Lazard wasn't injured, right? You pretty much covered everything on what I was thinking in regards to this. It's frustrating, right? Because it's it brings in the thoughts is, are we selling the team right now? Not selling the team, but selling on the year within itself. I don't think so, because if we were, the DJ Reed stuff would have happened. But is it Brown lead time? They're about the same height. I think their difference is about an inch difference, and weight, 10 pounds maybe. I don't know. Is it Corley? It's just the unknown going into this game, knowing that for the rest of the year we have to win out almost to get into the the P word that I won't say and all that. But I think it's frustrating, bro. It's a frustrating move, but we got a 5th rounder. You just brought it up in regards to what we've done in the past when it came to a 5th round. So, at this point, it is what it is. It's a pass. He's best known for a sandwich at this point. And one last thing, right?
And running the wrong route in a primetime game against a division opponent that would have had you in first place if you won.
Exactly. And one last thing too, Jake, that needed to be talked about, I think, is this whole stuff about players being super hype, being happy when they scored and doing this stuff like that. A-Rod kind of went ahead and said, he was a quiet guy. He just really came in, did what he was supposed to do. Maybe he was one of those guys that they're talking about that, wasn't wanting to be like, you know, a rah-rah type of dude, I guess. I don't know. I'm just trying to make some sense of it. But Jake, keep doing your thing, brother. I appreciate you, man. And go Jets, bro.
Johnny, appreciate you. You mentioned Aaron Rodgers. He was live on the McAfee show when the trade for Mike Williams happened. Here were Rodgers' thoughts in real time.
Okay. Another big move here on NFL trade deadline day. And obviously, Aaron, you being on here is pretty perfect for the situation. Mike Williams has been traded from the New York Jets to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers have been in the market for a wide receiver since the offseason. Obviously, Calvin Austin comes on. Russell Wilson starts taking over the offense. George Pickens is an absolute beast and a monster. Mike Williams with the New York Jets after the Devontae Adams trade over there. A lot of people assumed he was potentially available. Now a move is made. Aaron, we'll let you go first on Mike Williams. Obviously, the moment in prime time is going to be talked about between your relationship with him. What type of guy is he in the locker room? And what are your thoughts on the Jets trading him?
Yeah, Mike's a quiet guy. Just kind of goes about his business. You know, Mike had a rough injury last year, that ACL. It's tough to come back from. And he worked his ass off all off season, wasn't around for a lot of training camp. He's working on the side. But I felt like, you know, he was getting better throughout the early part of the season when he was you know, it felt like his speed was getting better and he was feeling more comfortable with it. That's a tough injury. I had that injury, and it's the mental part that takes the longest. But you know, Mike's a good guy. He'll be good in that locker room. Obviously, got a lot of great veteran leadership. He's had a nice career, and sometimes change of scenery is great for certain guys. I mean, she was great for me. It was fun, kind of get re-enthused and stuff. And you know, we kind of knew with Devontae coming in that there'd be less targets for everybody because, you know, G's leading the league in targets. He's going to get his targets, and Tay's dynamic player. He's going to get his targets. So if this gives Mike more opportunities, that's awesome. And we wish Mike well.
You know, about what you would expect. I think it means more Gibson, not Corley, though. I hope it means more Corley. What I would do is I would make Corley the kick returner. You could leave Gibson at the punt returner if you want someone more sure-handed in that spot, fine. But the kick returner is basically a running back in a long run play. That's my assessment watching the kickoff return in person 3 times this year and just watching all the NFL games this season. Corley should be the kick returner. Want to leave Gibson as the punt returner? Fine. He had the one game against New England where it looked like he was going to muff every punt. But other than that, for the most part, he's sure-handed. Fine. Put Corley at kicks and hopefully give him some plays as a receiver, as the third receiver behind Garrett and Devontae. And then I could almost understand the Mike Williams trade a little more, but I have no faith in the coaching staff to do that. More of your calls right now. Appreciate everyone tuning in. I will get to everyone if you're on hold right now. We're doing our second show on the day. Breaking news stream, our first since we hit over 40,000 subscribers. So thank you to everyone who made that happen. If you want to become an official Asmaniac, hit the join button and sign up, or maybe someone will gift the membership and we'll shout you out if you do that.
Warning! Warning! Allen alert! Shit's about to get ugly, folks. Warning! Allen alert! Hide the children!
Hey, afternoon, Jacob. How are you doing? Other than picking Garrett Wilson 10th overall, man, JD has not really done a good job at all with the wide receiver position. I mean, through the draft, through free agency.
More. What else?
And then the free agents, the Hardman, and now with Williams, and I don't think Berrios wasn't great. I mean, I don't even know if that was even him. So he really has not done a good job. So that's to you both.
Corey Davis was a Douglas signing, I think.
Yeah,
right?
that's another bum. So yeah, he's done a horrendous job. As far as the deal is concerned, a couple of points. Am I surprised they made the deal? I am. I don't know how they have confidence in Xavier Gibson going forward as the number 3 receiver. That shocks me. Unless they see something more in Malachi Corley after that fuck up the other night. Maybe he is actually their number 3, but it's a strange deal. But it's a deal I understand as far as trade compensation is concerned, especially after Deontay Johnson got dealt the other day and Mingo got traded today. Pittsburgh was in dire need of getting a receiver. You think this was their number 1 call? I bet you they called the Rams for Cooper Kupp, got hung up on. I bet you they called Carolina for Adam Thielen, and maybe they asked for too much. So I understand it as far as a trade perspective is concerned. I don't know what this team continues to see in Xavier Gipson. To me, he's more of a CFL receiver than a number 3 NFL receiver. That shocks me. As far as what you said about the Marshawn Lattimore deal, a 3 and a 4 is very enticing for DJ Reed. I understand you said you would not do it.
I don't think that deal exists though for DJ Reed. I don't think you would have been able to get a 3 and a 4 for Reed, who's 2 years older than Lattimore.
I don't know. Maybe not. But I mean, I thought Washington maybe overpaid a little bit on that deal. I know that Lattimore is a couple of years younger. I know that they were talking about trading Lattimore yesterday to the Chiefs. I give the Commanders a lot of credit. They're 7-2 and they're going for it. But again, if a 3 and a 4 was actually offered for DJ Reed, I might have traded him. Honestly, I really would have. But that's just me. But again, this deal is a strange one because I don't know how it really addresses and I don't know how it helps them. You get rid of a body and you're replacing him with a basically fringe NFL player. I have more confidence in the 2 guys they have in the practice squad in Jason Brownlee and Brandon Smith than I do with Xavier Gipson. I don't think he's an NFL receiver. I really don't. He doesn't separate. He's not even a good player anymore.
Also, quick update, because I was curious on Marshawn Lattimore's contract, Alan. He's not a free agent like DJ Reed is.
I know he signed, I think he has a 3 or 4 more years, I believe, on his deal.
They have an out after this year if they want, but they're not going to take it after trading that much for him. And then he's under contract for a cap hit of $18 million and $18.5 the next 2 years, which is pretty good value for a guy who'd be a number 1 corner on most teams in the league.
Yeah.
That's why they did it. You're not getting that for DJ Reed. You probably would get maybe a 4th for DJ Reed, and I don't think that's worth it. If I got a 2 for DJ Reed, I'd have to do it. I don't think that was out there.
One thing that has me scratching my head finally is Douglas, even if this team goes 6-11, is he going to come back? I'm starting to think with this type of deal, maybe he is. That is shocking. And I have a feeling in some ways that he was given the okay to make this deal. If he isn't, who is running the show? That's the
only thing better than all them shoes is Joey D, cause he totally rules. Jake, my brother, I'm high as a kite. I love everybody. Damn, this show is crazy.
Oh,
you see me laughing at him, right? You see me laughing at him because he knows deep inside there that there's still a possibility.
How is he coming back at 6-11 or 7-10? How?
Alan, let me ask you one quick, because coaching is terrible, and
he hired
that's
the bum.
why.
Oh my God, Bonesy, stop! He hired him.
Who would you have hired that year, Alan?
I don't care. He hired him. He got him wrong.
Who would you have hired? Who was the miss?
32 games under 500, Bonesy. There's 32 games.
How do you know that Gipson sucks? Tell me what you've seen.
Gipson is not an NFL player. Gipson is not an NFL player.
Aaron Rodgers would make me look like an NFL player. You have no idea that Gipson sucks. You thought Lazard sucks, and now we want Lazard back. This whole entire community thought Alan Lazard sucks, and it was like me, Dano, and like one other guy that stood on the rock. And look at Lazard now. We're all dying. We can't wait for him to get back because Rodgers makes everyone better. Everyone's talking about Gipson sucking. How do we know Gipson sucks? We haven't seen him fuck up yet. Excuse me. Sorry.
Jake, do you have any confidence in Xavier Gipson? Be honest.
I personally don't. I'd like to see Malachi Corley play.
He's not an
NFL
NFL player.
We don't know, but like my big thing is like, is a 5th round pick really worth the risk of, basically being screwed for this game coming up if, God forbid, mid-game Devontae goes out again or something happens. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like you're basically playing playoff games every step of the way. I don't know if a 5th round pick was enough to get me to just get rid of Mike Williams.
Mike Williams hasn't done shit yet, and he got all playing time last game and still had less yards and catches than Kenny Yeboah. Rodgers and him do not click. Obviously, he lost us 2 games. He doesn't know what the red line is. I mean, what do you want? Rodgers has said that he has chemistry with Gipson. You got to trust Rodgers when he says, yo, trade Mike Williams. I'd rather have somebody else on the field. The guy isn't running the correct routes, and I can't throw to him. I can't use him. So we just got a 5th round pick. That's what DeAndre Hopkins went for. The Cowboys traded a 4th for Mingo from Carolina. We just got a 5th.
I have no problem with the deal. I think they got maximum value because the Steelers
yeah,
were
that's
desperate.
maximum value.
But again, if Xavier Gibson got cut tomorrow, no one would sign him to their active roster.
You don't. You have no, that is a guess.
He'd be a practice squad guy. He is not an NFL receiver at all.
Alan, you don't know that yet.
He's not
Alan,
a good receiver.
You told me that Mike Williams wasn't even going to.
Yo,
Yo, Alan, you told me Mike Williams wasn't even going to be ready for the season. You guaranteed that, just like you're guaranteeing Gibson wouldn't be on the roster.
He's
and
not
then look,
an
and Mike
NFL
Williams was
receiver.
ready.
He's not an NFL, but you know what? Mike Williams wasn't fully ready because he only got a couple of snaps in the first couple of weeks. Okay,
Agreed.
they forced him.
I don't think he's fully ready now. I still don't think he's healthy now. I think Mike Williams is still recovering.
Bonesy, Xavier Gibson is not an NFL number 3 receiver. In my mind, I don't think he's a number 4 or maybe not even a number 5.
Well, here's the one thing, though, Alan. He's not a number 3 wide receiver. He's technically that right now only because Allen Lazard's out for 3 more games.
Okay. I understand
we don't really,
that. But
I'm not standing on a Gibson rock and waving a flag that I think Gibson's the man. But I can't tell you personally that I have seen Gibson and being like, he's not making those plays. Like, I just haven't seen it with my eyes. As a punt returner, he's shown solid hands. I don't know.
Solid hands? Bonesy, come on. That guy is a nightmare when he catches punts. Are you kidding me?
Does he have any fumbles lost?
He hasn't muffed any. He had the New England game, but they didn't lose any punts on that.
Yeah,
What annoys me with Gibson is he fair catches. I think sometimes when there's room.
Yeah, a little early.
He fair caught balls last week when there weren't guys within 10 yards of him.
Yeah, but you were criticizing his catching ability. He caught the ball.
He's not an NFL receiver. He's not. I hope he plays better.
Right?
I mean, he's going to get
Rodgers
some
does with him. He's going to get some. Yeah. He's going to get some ops. And if Gibson has a touchdown and 6 catches for 60 yards, what are we going to say? Rodgers, right?
It's
Rodgers.
I just don't think he's a good receiver. Again, I have no problem with the trade. They maximized what they had from a bum free agent signing, a bum that your guy did. Again, look at some of the receivers he's gotten in the draft. And in free agency. He's done a horrendous job with this position. Horrendous. Like an F. Give him a D-.
You just saw Garrett Williams do
Garrett Wilson was a top 10 pick.
We traded Devontae Williams for a third. What'd you want? Amari Cooper for a third instead? Was that a better trade?
Anybody could have made that deal. Corey Davis, bum. McCole Hardman, bum. Mike Williams, bum. Elijah Moore, bum. Denzel Mims, bum. Okay, he's done a horrendous job with this position. I know you love him. The 32-game under 500 GM, you love him. I'm afraid they're going to keep this bum for the next 4 years. He sucks.
You'd be Bonesy, I love you, but you are
Bonesy. When they lose Sunday, I want a full eulogy on Wednesday. Okay, I want it written. I want it on the air. Then you might be number 1 on the list next week.
Alan, because you know why? Deep down, you know that there's still a chance that Joe Douglas stays because, again, Woody has stressed that this is the best roster we've had in 20 years. And as all you Jet fans say, everyone always thinks the grass is greener on the other side. And Joe Douglas has always shown that he's in control. He knows how to draft talent. Look at the 5th-round picks that Jake just went through. That's the future of our
games under 500. You have to win games, Bonesy. I'm sorry.
Alan,
this is a 7-10 league here.
Alan, name me a player in the last 15 years that we developed.
Oh, my God.
Forget day 3 of, Quincy and Nunwa, because that's probably, the only guy. Name me a player that we developed from the draft. Just name me one.
Bonesy.
One player that we developed in 15 years. Name me a player.
Bonesy, he hired the coach, and they're 32 games under 500.
He riffed on the coach. I get it. Everybody that year
he drafted the quarterback. Okay.
I mean, that was a crapshoot. Any quarterback you picked,
we got him wrong.
Fail.
Okay, and he picked the wrong left tackle.
So that's 3 mistakes. You want me to go through all the hits?
And here's the bottom line: they're 32-60. How many more years do you want to give him?
You actually gave him 2 more wins than he has. The actual record
30-62.
Yes,
Sorry,
30-62.
I want to see Joe Douglas make the roster for a legitimate coach, because if you combine a GM who Hold on, wait, Alan. Do you feel comfortable with Joe Douglas in the draft room when he's live in the draft? Have you ever felt more in control when your guy is swinging, making deals, trading up, trading fourths for thirds, trading thirds for seconds? Tippmann is our future center, and we traded Elijah Moore in the third for him. We make up for the mistakes.
Bugsy, this is a results business. You realize that? Okay, if you couldn't sell sneakers or shoes or whatever you do, you'd be gone. Joe Bonesy would be the CEO, and you'd be his bitch. Okay, there's 32 games under 500. I don't get this. How many more years do you want to give him? How many more? You want to give him a 4-year deal?
I want to give him a lifetime contract.
Oh my God!
Okay, everyone, get out of here. Enough. The one thing I will say, I do think this is good for Douglas as far as like him personally being here next year, that he made this deal. Because why would Douglas make this trade if he felt like he's not going to be here? You could say, well, deep down he knows Xavier Gibson and Corley are now going to have more of an impact than Mike Williams would, but I don't know if he thinks about it that way. This was one of his big free agent signings. One of the reasons why we were so excited about this team this year is, one, Rodgers being back, obviously. But two, it's like you have a better O-line, which to Douglas's credit, the O-line is way better this year, right? Morgan Moses, by the way, shout out to him. Dude's a warrior playing through what he's playing through. Love that guy. Could play for my team any day. You know, Tippmann's taking a step. ABT's hurt again, though. Simpson's been a good signing by Douglas. Got to be fair. Unfortunately, he's hurt. Hopefully, it's not serious. We'll find out his status tomorrow when Oberk talks. And Tyron Smith was the other big move, and he stinks. But Mike Williams was the other move they made on offense, besides improving the O-line. They needed another receiver, right? Lazard's a stiff. Well, Lazard is competent. I don't want to say he's great or good. He's solid. He does what he needs to do. But because he missed on Mike Williams, he then had to trade for Devontae Adams. You had to trade assets for Devontae. So that was probably part of the thought process, too, with this deal. Look, I screwed up with Mike Williams. It didn't work. I already gave up a third for Devontae. Let me at least get back a fifth. We still have our own third. We could package a third and a fifth, and we can get back into the second if we need to this year, thinking ahead. But I do think this could mean Douglas is back. If they go 8-9, Douglas could be back and hire a coach. I don't think it's the craziest thing in the world. But here's the problem with that, right? Here would be my concern. This guy's going to get to pick another coach and likely draft another quarterback in the first round. His first time drafting a quarterback, he drafted one of the biggest busts in the history of football. His first time hiring a head coach, he hired a guy who was 20 and 36. And Saleh wasn't all bad. There were some things he did well. He hired some good coaches, including the interim head coach right now. But I don't know if with Douglas's record, and just because this team happens to be talented, it took him 6 years to build this team, that then he gets to pick coach and quarterback again. Wild Wave saying Woody forced the Zach pick. That is unequivocally false. Not true. Douglas wanted him. Rex Hogan was the biggest advocate in that draft room for Zach Wilson. Then Douglas looked into it. He was on board. Anyone blaming Woody Johnson for the Zach Wilson pick, you don't know jack bleep. That is not what happened. Trust me, I spoke with multiple people about this. That is not what happened at all. This idea that Woody, you wanted Zach, and then if you believe the JetBlue bullshit, you're a bigger moron than I thought. So those people out there. No. They wanted Zach Wilson, Douglas, and Rex Hogan did. Air Razi writes in, we are back to no depth at wide receiver. Also, Williams was a good blocker. Could have used him in some tight end sets. Well, I didn't even try. Momo says, Jake used to react to my comments when he started this channel. Now it looks like it's all about the Benjamins. He never replies to me. Almost like I just replied to you, Momo. Maybe have a decent comment that doesn't suck. How about that? Huh? Gotcha. No, I'm just kidding, man. I really respond to super chats first because that's how I pay my bills. So, yeah. But if you're a channel member, which I don't think you are, you have a priority response in the comments. So that's maybe another way to do it. Momo. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. More of your calls right now. Oh, I got them. Ladies and gentlemen, Edward Ziff is next. What's up, Edward?
Good morning, Vietnam.
Edward, you're so low. Fix the mic.
That was some of the funniest shit I'd ever seen. Did you see me in the green room going? I know you had to have seen it.
A lot was happening during that call. It was wild.
Those guys, you had the biggest shit-eating grin on your face when those two were going. I love it because sometimes the show is Jets and sometimes it's straight up fucking Jerry Springer.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. But that's what makes your show so fun because it's a variety. It's not so serious.
Hey, win or lose, we're all in this together, Jet fans. So this is the community we have.
Well, I know that trades in the NFL are very rarely player for player. So this whole thing with Mike Williams getting that 5th round pick, it really could be that he just needs trade assets so he can get a run stuffer. I mean that is. I mean I've seen a lot of this messaging in the chat, and a lot of people think that could be part of it too. You know, this is not like baseball. You know, where they trade player for player. So that could be part of what's going on. It could be. His, you know, how JD is Trader Joe. So, excuse me.
Edward, are you okay? I've never had anyone choke on the air before. Edward, drink some water. Put some cayenne pepper in there. Cayenne pepper in there. That won't hurt.
Oh yeah, I got some. Wait a minute.
I don't actually do that. That's probably not smart.
No, I have some.
There it is.
No, what happened was.
Do we need to call an ambulance?
I was eating. No. I was eating some wasabi almonds, and sometimes when you eat the almonds, the dust stays in your throat and it goes down the wrong pipe. So.
Wasabi almonds.
Yeah.
Wasabi and you know, sometimes they have the smokehouse almonds, and sometimes they have. I like the wasabi almonds. They're really good.
Your mic, Edward. Move the mic closer to your mouth.
You never had the wasabi peas?
I have not. No.
Oh, they're pretty good. Got that little kick. It's good. But yeah, I was thinking that he traded the wide receiver so that he can maybe get a defensive lineman maybe. But like we were saying, they don't go player for player in the NFL for some strange reason. You very rarely see player for player trades.
Well, you got to hope that maybe they could take the 5th they got and flip it for a defensive tackle against the run. I hope. I mean, that's one way to justify this deal. But as of now, I've been on for over an hour already since this deal happened.
It's 10 after 3. They got 50 minutes left to do a trade.
That is correct.
If he's going to do one. So, well, the one thing I've noticed from Joe Douglas is the past 4 or 5 seasons when, you know, we've been contemplating what's Joe going to do. He always seems to pull a rabbit out of his hat that nobody expects. I mean, who thought he was going to get Morgan Moses? I mean, that wasn't even in the tarot cards. I mean, he pulled that rabbit right out of his hat with that.
That was for a comp pick swap too, like a late round pick. Like they got more for Mike Williams than they gave up to get Morgan Moses.
Well, quite frankly, Mike Williams, I still think he's not quite healed up. I think that's part of the problem.
I don't think you're healed up either, Edward. I think those wasabi almonds are killing you.
Yeah, a little bit, but they're good. They're good. But anyway, I'm running out of football. Oh, Corley. Who the hell knows what they're going to do with him? But I agree. Some of the other guys that we have there are not as good. Basically, the Jets are a team that have 2 number 1s and no number 2 until Lassard gets back. And hopefully he'll not drop anything else this year.
Edward, hang in there, right?
Yeah, it's bothered me. Next caller. But it was good talking to you again, man.
Edward, one of the all-time greats. Where was Edward Ziff in the Asmaniac rankings we revealed this morning on the show? Was he in the top 25 for October? That call will definitely get him some strong consideration for November. Jayquest says, speaking of number 2, where's Bobby? Bobby got very mad at me this morning that I made a joke that he smells and should use Mando deodorant. He took it literally and then hung up. So that's where we're at with Bobby. Super chat from our guy, Devin. Shout out to Devin, his wonderful wife, his daughter. They were at the Asmaniac group buy in section 129 the other night. In an all-in year, we should not be trading assets. I'm not feeling good with this trade. They better have plans for Corley. Yeah, or Xavier Gibson better turn into what Lazard now is with Rodgers throwing him. Otherwise, I don't love it. And I'm not sitting here telling you Mike Williams has been excellent. I just don't think we ever really got to see what Mike Williams could do. And yeah, he wasn't on the same page with Rodgers. I get it. But, like, he's better than Gibson and Corley at this point. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Xavier Gibson makes me eat my words. I don't know. I don't see it. What a call by Edward, huh? Let's see. More of your calls coming up here. Michael writes in, enough with the run-stuffing defensive tackle. Play with leads, and it won't matter. You can't just say play with leads. You're going to be in tight games. All right? Play with leads, and it won't matter. You know how you won't get leads? Not being able to stop the run and teams go up early on you, Michael. This is a moronic comment. Play with leads, and it won't matter. Okay, don't make your football team better because they're just always going to play with leads. Did they have a lead on Thursday? No, they had to come back in that game. You can't just assume you're always going to have leads. Yeah, obviously they need to play better overall, but if you have a chance to make your team better for a day 3 pick and add a run stuff for DT, why wouldn't you?
Just shut the fuck up. I did not ask for the dim opinion that came out of your ass, so shut the fuck up.
Love you, Michael. That's stupid town worthy. Jeffrey with a super chat. This is for Momo. Needy much? There you go, Momo. Your next comment I'll read, courtesy of Jeffrey. More calls right now. Coach Brick is on the line. What's up, Coach?
Good morning or afternoon, depending on which coast you're on.
Coach, what's the deal with Mike Williams? Why'd we trade him?
He's 12 receptions for 166 yards. What are we giving up? All right. I think what we are looking at here is balancing today with next year. I think we're looking at collecting assets for the next 2 years. We've traded some away. And I think that helps balance the free agents we're going to lose. We've got to restock the cupboard for the 2025 year and on. That is just, this all in is a great idea. If that was really the case, we would have traded away the next 2 years worth of first, seconds, thirds, fourth, fifths. Who cares? That's not what we're doing. We put a lot of chips on the table, and I think we've got to balance it. So the fact that we got a fifth, I'm not so thrilled about the dead cap. I'm looking at the contracts at the void years here that we've got on a lot of these deals. And I know the future is going to be a challenge. I know Joe's got his work cut out for him. But I think recouping an asset here. And Jake, I think we did trade away our third for Devontae. I think we kept the Detroit pick. I think that's how that one worked.
I could tell you, stand by. But either way, it's still a third-round pick. You know,
it is, yeah. I thought that was a good draft day move by him last year to acquire this year's.
Absolutely. We said it at the time. I actually said, I went back and watched the show when they made that move. I said this could be what they trade for Devontae months from now. It ended up being exactly that. You're right. It was their own they traded. So they had the Lions pick, which right now would be the 95th overall pick. And it's still going to be a top 100 pick, which is pretty good.
Yeah. I agreed. And I think the way that they were looking at this team for this year was how many starters did they really need to replace on offense and defense? And they looked at the roster and said, very few. And after they went through free agency and put their draft picks in, I think we're looking at next year's team build and we're saying we need young talent. We're going to need special teamers. We need depth. And I think a 5th round pick helps. Whether we want to speculate now about Trader Joe packaging it up and moving around, doesn't matter. Unfortunately, we've got almost $8 million in dead cap from Mike. That's a drop in the bucket. However, it is important. We have a lot,
but it's over the next 2 years. It's like $2 million next year, 5 the year after. So it's not that big of a deal when it's split up like that.
I agree. However, he is not the only one that's going to carry dead cap here. And that
they're carrying $50 million in dead cap right now, Coach.
That's what I'm talking about. Like next year when we get there and we've got to restructure to fit all of our guys in, we're looking at a New Orleans Saints, roster construction. We're almost at that point. And for folks to come on here and say he hasn't picked good talent, I bet those are the same folks who are saying, "Oh, we got to pay Sauce, we got to pay these players." I mean, he's picked good talent. He hasn't hit home runs on every pick, but we got enough free agents here coming up that proves Joe can put some talent on a team.
Is he the GM here next year, though, Coach? That's the thing. I have no idea. It depends how this year goes.
And what you said earlier got me thinking, if he was able to make this pick and someone hasn't already told him he's not coming back, he's operating like he's controlling this year's team and the future. And I think they're going to have to evaluate his performance at the end of the year. I'm a fan of Joe D. I'm not saying he's without flaws, but I think what he inherited to where we are today, while the results haven't been there on the field, I think the team construction is there. I see weaknesses, but very few teams don't have them. So, I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm not saying I'd fire him. I hope he brings me back. I'd like to coach here next year. So, keep our role playing thing going here. Congratulations on 40,000. Sometimes I think you need a secondary name for the fans, not as maniacs. It's almost like the Whack Pack from Howard Stern at times here, which is amazing entertainment. And I thank you and all the other listeners, and the chat had me rolling earlier. So you guys were awesome. Thank you for the entertainment.
Appreciate it. Great call, Coach.
Let's get brick.
You'll notice, by the way, Ulbrich had the hat backwards for the postgame speech. I don't know why he doesn't wear it for the games now. He's a front-facing hat guy. Oh, man. Bang Mateo. JG wins the drafts and loses the season. Case closed. Well, I mean, the record's the record. They haven't made the playoffs yet. They got to make the playoffs this year. They're 3-6 right now. Feels unlikely. It's not dead yet, but that's why Sunday is so big, and I don't think the Jets got better with this move. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Corley or Gibson play a bigger role and they help. So I'm looking through it here. Here are the Jet free agent wide receiver signings under Joe Douglas. We'll go in order. Brashard Perryman, 1 year, $6.5 million, 30 catches, 505 yards, 3 touchdowns in 12 games. Keelan Cole, 1 year, $5.5 million, 28 catches, 449 yards, 1 touchdown, 15 games. Corey Davis. Now, this was the first real signing he made. Okay, big money to Corey Davis. 3 years, $37 million, 66 catches, 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns in 22 games. Randall Cobb, 1 year, $3 million. 5 receptions, 39 yards, 1 touchdown in 11 games. Mecole Hardman, 1 year, $4 million. 1 reception, 6 yards in 5 games. Allen Lazard, 4 years, $44 million. 53 catches, 723 yards, 6 touchdowns in 21 games. Mike Williams, 1 year, $10 million. 12 receptions, 166 yards, 0 touchdowns in 9 games. Hasn't been good enough. If you're just tuning in, Mike Williams has been traded for a 2025 fifth-round pick. Devin with a super chat. Why would we help the Steelers? We may see them in the playoffs if we can get there. I feel like this will bite us in the ass, and for what? Look, if the Jets play the Steelers in the playoffs, you sign for that right now. I don't love the idea of trading him to Pittsburgh, but that doesn't annoy me the most. But I think ultimately, if you want to get to the playoffs, you got to win on Sunday. And does this move help you win Sunday? I don't think it does.
Playoffs?
That's the problem.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
And they need to win a game on Sunday. Devin with another super chat. Thanks, Jake, for helping my wife and I create a lifetime of amazing memory for Elizabeth. Appreciate you, bro. Thanks for doing all you do. Can't believe that was their first game. What a night. What a night, Devin. Love it. Great to meet you and your whole fam. That had a lot of fun. That's what it's all about. What it's all about. Ladies and gentlemen, let's say hello to the number one Asmaniac for the month of October, according to the committee that put it together earlier today. The Hamburger is next. Hello, Hamburger.
What's up, Jake? Oh man, every time we turn around and we try to make a take on what we think is going to happen, it's complete opposite. Everybody could be right or wrong in this situation.
Well,
You don't
hold
know
on,
where-
though. Maybe that's a good thing because everyone thought the Jets would lose Thursday. They won. Everyone but Neil. And everyone thinks they're going to lose Sunday because this is typical Jets letdown game on the West Coast. Maybe they win. Huh? Spin zone.
It's a possibility. Listen, man, I said this a couple weeks ago. Like, it scares the hell out of me that Joe Douglas is going to be back. And these are some signs, I think you're right, that point to almost maybe not no matter what happens, but there's a lot of room for him to fail this year, and him might be being back. So Bonesy,
9-8, no playoffs. I think Joe Douglas is back.
yeah. I don't
8-9,
know.
no playoffs. I think there's a chance he's back and he hires another coach. And I don't love that because I think they need to draft a quarterback. So now this guy who failed with both in epic fashion gets another crack at it. And he's had
Correct.
6 years and they haven't made the playoffs in any year and he gets to do both again. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I love that. I don't.
No, I absolutely hate it. I think this weekend you'll see probably more of Gibson. You might see Corley a little bit more. I think you're right on Gibson returning the punts and Corley maybe doing the kick returns, but I don't know. Gibson doesn't do anything. He's okay, and he's very, very, very pedestrian receiver. He's had 2 touchdowns this year, a couple catches, 1 or 2 long returns. Not that impressive, but I don't think you're going to see Brownlee up yet. I don't think we haven't seen him at all. I mean, I don't know what that guy's going to end up turning out to be, but I don't know, man. I have a feeling that Joe Douglas is going to be back. Bones, I know it makes you happy. It doesn't make me happy, that's for sure.
Why
I don't know,
not?
man. It's tough. It is tough, but listen, you guys have a great day. Appreciate it. You guys later.
Hamburger, keep up the good work, man. Snowball wrote Brett Michaels vibes. I see that. Ladies and gentlemen, we read Momo's comment because Jeffrey paid for it to be read. Love this country. Love this channel. Murray will be running all over the Jets. Let's see if they set the edge. That's why I would love for the Jets to add a run stuffer. I could go and play 25 snaps against the run on Sunday. But yeah, I mean, gap integrity, rush lane integrity. It's got to be so much better than it's been in some of these games this year for the Jets on Sunday. All right, Hassan Reddick was awful at that, by the way, against New England in this first game. Hopefully he sets the edge properly this week. Clemens, don't be an idiot. Bo with a super chat. Time's ticking on a great big old fatty to clog these gigantic holes. John Jenkins or bust. Get us a security blanket. Quentin Jefferson got cut today. That's a name I'd look at. Nathan Shepard hasn't been traded. Another name I'd look at. You already mentioned the player there on the Raiders. Another name we look at. I like the idea of Shelby Harris from Cleveland. I would add him. But to this point, they haven't added anyone. We'll see. There's still a little over 90 minutes until this deadline. Devin writes in the mortal words, Gibson's for shit. Jets. Is that a Peter Castro quote? That sounds like it. Bobby Salty Nuts writes in. All right, is the deadline 4 or 5? Maybe I misspoke. Can Rob the Jet fan play interior? Might be 4. 4 p.m. Okay, so not 90 minutes. We're talking about a little more than 30 minutes. Depending on how many more calls and super chats we get, I'll stay on through the deadline. We'll see. Call in right now if you want your voice heard on the show. Link has been posted again in the chat. It's pinned in the comments. See what you guys are thinking. Once again, details of the trade. 5th round pick in 2025, this year's draft. So we'll see. AJ writes in, would you take Bryce Young to back up Rodgers? Panthers will want off him, sell low, might be worth a flyer. They're not going to trade him in season. He's their starter right now. They just won a game. He played okay. You're not getting Bryce Young. In the offseason, that's an interesting conversation. Would you trade, a pick for a guy who could sit behind Aaron for a year instead of going the route of drafting someone in the first round? We could have that conversation. Right? Former first overall pick, change the scenery, let him sit behind Aaron Rodgers. Not the worst idea. I would rather Anthony Richardson, though, over Bryce Young, because I think Richardson's got more physical traits that I like. But he's raw. He's got to sit. Bobby Salty Nuts wants to know, where is Bobby? Bobby got mad at me this morning because I jokingly said he smelt and he needed to use some Mando deodorant. True story. Zeus, turn your camera on and I will go to you. Once again, for those tuning in late, here was Aaron Rodgers' reaction to the Mike Williams trade.
Okay. Another big move here on NFL trade deadline day. And obviously, Aaron, you being on here is pretty perfect for the situation. Mike Williams has been traded from the New York Jets to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers have been in the market for a wide receiver since the offseason. Obviously, Calvin Austin comes on. Russell Wilson starts taking over the offense. George Pickens is an absolute beast and a monster. Mike Williams with the New York Jets after the Devontae Adams trade over there. A lot of people assumed he was potentially available. Now a move is made. Aaron, we'll let you go first on Mike Williams. Obviously, the moment in prime time is going to be talked about between your relationship with him. What type of guy is he in the locker room? And what are your thoughts on the Jets trading him?
Yeah, Mike's a quiet guy. Just kind of goes about his business. Mike had a rough injury last year, that ACL. It's tough to come back from. And he worked his ass off all off season. Wasn't around for a lot of training camp. He's working on the side. But I felt like, he was getting better throughout the early part of the season when he was it felt like his speed was getting better and he was feeling more comfortable with it. That's a tough injury. I had that injury, and it's the mental part that takes the longest. But Mike's a good guy. He'll be good in that locker room. Obviously, got a lot of great veteran leadership. He's had a nice career, and sometimes change of scenery is great for certain guys. I mean, she was great for me. It was fun, kind of get re-enthused and stuff, and. We kind of knew with Devontae coming in that there'd be less targets for everybody because, G's leading league in targets. He's going to get his targets, and Tay's dynamic player. He's going to get his targets. So if this gives Mike more opportunities, that's awesome. And we wish Mike well.
You could see Pittsburgh just having Russell Wilson throw up those go balls to Mike Williams. Jets didn't do that with him. Mike Williams, I think, will come down with some of those passes George Pickens got when the Jets played in Pittsburgh a few weeks ago. Once again, my big takeaway from the top is I'm surprised they did this deal because Lazard's on IR. I figured they would not do it now that Lazard was out. That was my thought process. They felt differently. Ladies and gentlemen, more of your calls right now. We say hello to the big fella. Big fella, what do you got for us?
Wow, that was quick, man. Holy shit. Do you really think JD's going to do something, before the deadline for a defensive lineman, for a defensive tackle?
He hasn't done it yet, so I don't think so. But there's still 29 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe he's going to sign Quentin Jefferson as a free agent.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. He knows the defense already, and he performed well for us last year, so that would be good. The Mike Williams trade, it is what it is. We weren't using him. If we weren't gonna re-sign him next year, it's better to get something for him now. You know what I mean? So I don't see it as being a bad thing.
I think it's just like, do you trust Xavier Gipson and Corley to be the number 3 receiver on this team? I guess the answer is they do. And they're like, we have Devontae, we have Garrett, we have Brees. We're just going to funnel the offense through those 3, and everyone else will feed off that. Like, that's the thought process. I get concerned with Lazard out for another 3 games. What if we just saw Devontae Adams have to leave again because he was in concussion protocol What if that happens with Garrett? Or what if something happens to Devontae again? Like that's what concerns me.
Right. No, I get that. Well, I mean, it's, it is what it is. We'll see what happens. Main thing is we got to man up against Arizona this week. We gotta take it to them. I'm feeling good about that game. Actually, I don't think they're as good as what everybody's been saying. They're 5-4. I think we're better than, what are we, 3-6 now? Yeah, I think so. I think it's more of an even game than than what people are saying. I mean, the line. What's the line? 1?
The line is, it was 1. Let's see if it's changed today, big fella. Let's take a look for you. The New York Jets are currently a 1-point underdog, so it has not changed.
Yes, I mean it's pretty much a wash. So I don't know. I mean, if we can stop the run, because they're obviously run heavy, and if Clemens gets his head out of his ass and holds the line, holds the edge with Kyler Murray, I think we'll be all right. I think Marvin Harrison hasn't performed as well as what everybody thought he was going to do this year. Everybody thought he was going to come in as like go gangbusters on everybody, and it really didn't. I really didn't see it. They do have that tight end Trey McBride, who's very good, but we got to come out with a win this week. It's put up or shut up time, and we did it to ourselves. We should have beat some teams earlier. Greg Zerline cost us 3 games. Well, he was part of it anyway, but he cost us 3 games, and it's where we're at. So I do think that with the new kicker, the second half showed life of what could be for the future. I think we could definitely beat the Arizona Cardinals.
They definitely can win.
Yeah.
I just fear that we have seen this many times as Jet fans, and this is the game they lose. Hopefully they prove me wrong.
Well, I hope so. I mean, Houston, we really weren't supposed to win that game either, so let's keep it going.
Big fella, from your lips to God's ears.
No, I'm talking to him, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, the big fella. Jake Quest says, Jake, I just talked to Bobby. He wants an exclusive apology before he comes back. Bobby, I'm sorry. You don't actually smell. I was simply making a joke after I had just did a live read for one of my sponsors, and then you were the first caller. Please accept my apology. Mad Willie writes in, we can't talk about how winnable these games are, but the fact is we're 3-6 losing winnable games. Yeah, nothing is an easy game for the Jets. They lost to New England. That's what I'm saying. They lost to New England. AJ, what's the price for Dalvin Tomlinson? Maybe a 5th? Use the one you just got for Mike Williams? Mr. Bonesy says, Jake, what's the promo? I smell like dog bleep right now, and I'm not sharing until we lose another game. Promo code Asman, Bonesy, at shopmando.com. There you go. Ha. J-Quest, how much did we save on the cap with Williams trade, if any? You saved nothing on the cap. You have a $2 million dead cap hit next year and a $5 million dead cap hit the following year. That's it. Aunt Banks says, apparently Bobby's a sensitive boy. J Grids, Bobby, come back. A lot of reaction in the chat from people on Bobby. Jeffrey says, Mando is for all men, all parts, Bobby. Embrace the promo, my good man. Ladies and gentlemen, you ask and you shall receive. J-Quest says, we need Bobby back. Ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, everybody. This is Bob from Vermont. I am Bob, of course. Okay, I was busy watching my General Hospital. Sorry I didn't call in, okay? I didn't know you were on at 3 o'clock, so. But I'm sorry. I must have smelled. I farted when I was smoking pot and drinking them. Must have stunk. Sorry about that.
You realize, Bobby, I was making a joke because I just did a live read for a
I
deodorant
know,
brand.
but Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you overreacted.
I think I farted at the game. I said, don't worry about it. You don't have to apologize. I was on high. Sometimes when I'm high, I fart. Yeah. So, are you going to December 1st game at all?
I don't know.
Nate just called me. I think me and Michael want to meet Addison when he comes in for his birthday.
That's very nice.
So what are you laughing about? Are you having Robbie Sable on today?
Nope.
Oh, that's why you start at 3:00.
No, Mike Williams got traded, so I went live as quickly as
That
I
was
could.
pretty stupid to trade him.
I also started at 2:00, not 3:00.
All right. Yeah, well, you do your special sports thing, right?
You mean do a live show?
Yeah, BETUS. Bet US, right?
Bet US.
Yeah, Jay Graves, I love you. I love you, Jay Quest, too.
Anyone else you love?
I love you too, Jake, but sometimes you joke around with people.
I think you got very mad and very, very upset over nothing.
Well, you don't like to call. I called you sticky. You didn't like it either. So.
Yeah, and then I jokingly said, "No, you're smelly." In fact, I said, "Yeah, I was stinky," until I started using Mando deodorant. I think that's literally what started.
Okay, how much does it cost? Maybe I'll try it.
No. I just want you to realize that people make jokes, Bobby.
Okay, maybe I'll get some and then bring it down for December 1st, and you can smell me again.
I don't want to smell you. You stink.
Well, if I use it, I won't stink.
Have you had any tea today, Bob? Your voice sounds terrible.
No, it sounds a lot better. I was talking to Nate, so I'm a lot better.
I don't think it works that way. I don't think Nate could cure your voice by just talking to him.
What is green and black and white and green and black and white and green and black and white, while white and green and black and red? The Asmaniacs and Bobby at last Thursday night's game. Oh, that's hilarious. Once a Jet, always a Jet. Whoever wrote that. Do you want to come in and talk to us, Big Mouth? Let's go. Whoever you are. We don't know who the hell you are, so let's get in.
Bobby is currently fighting with someone who's in the green room right now who no one can see. And he just left. He's gone.
Well, goodbye. Don't let the dog kick you in the ass.
What else is new, Bob? You sound like crap. You smell. Anything else?
Okay, you smell too.
I did smell. I no longer smell because I use
I
Mando
told
deodorant.
you how much does it cost? I buy it.
It costs $1 million.
It does not.
Why don't you go to shopmando.com and find out? Use promo code Asman to get the starter pack.
All right, let me try that.
All right.
I like the lady who does it, Doctor, whatever her name is. She has her own commercials on TV too.
Mm-hmm. Dear friend of mine.
How do you like Noelle?
Who's Noelle?
The girl in the video.
I thought her name was Sweet Cheeks.
Yeah, that's what Nick called it. Her name is
okay.
Noelle.
Okay.
Man, she made it very nice.
She made it very nice?
Mr. Happy came out.
Mr. Happy came out?
Yes. I told you I haven't used that in a long time. So when I saw her.
Oh, hey now.
And guess who came on my show last night too?
Hold on, Bobby. Hold on.
Carly came on my show. Well, like good looking chicks in that film. Wow.
Bobby.
Oh yeah, baby. Things are about to get crazy here on the Jake Asman Show.
Calm your freaky down.
Sometimes we try, but that freaky just take us over.
Give him some of your loving voice.
Oh yeah, hide them kids.
Again, leave your damn freaky down.
Too new sexy.
you gotta chill, man.
But it's a 1 o'clock game. You don't want to come visit everybody December 1st.
I might have to work. I don't know my schedule yet.
Oh, that's right. You told me that the other day. Yes.
I'm sure you'll ask me 15 more times between now and
No,
December 1st.
I remember that because you talked to me with Andrew yesterday. That's right. I forgot. What, ESPN or Mad Dog?
ESPN.
Oh, that's December 1st.
That is a Sunday, so yes.
Yeah, what time? 1 o'clock or 4 o'clock?
Well, the Jets are playing at 1, and I might have to be on at 4, so we'll find out.
Oh, that you won't have time to get that to Manhattan from there. No.
I will not, no.
No. All right. So we'll probably listen to you on the radio on the way home.
There you go.
Because they're going to kidnap us on Saturday. Take us down.
They're going to kidnap. Who's kidnapping you?
Nate and other people.
They're driving up to Vermont to pick you up?
And me and Michael up. Yep. They just told me.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And then, Nick said we could get tickets at the game. It's $50. Like $20 you could get at the game.
I would just wait. They're going to go down in all likelihood.
Even under 20?
It might be around there. I would just wait till you get closer to the game and buy tickets. Then you'll get a better seat.
Well, he said when you get to the game, you could get the tickets right there.
Yeah.
So that's what we probably do. Then we go home on Sunday. We take the train home. Just one way. Yeah. We don't have to take it both ways. Like what happened to us the time we went down.
Who can forget?
Got stuck in damn freaking, where is it? Newark. No, we can't pick you up. We only could drive in Secaucus. What the hell? It's like 5 minutes away. Give me a break.
Mm-hmm.
They made some of these, but the hotel was very nice. Though.
It's good.
It's a good hotel. You like my hat? Sarah asked me to wear it yesterday.
Yeah, it's the hat that Craig gave you.
So I'm going on from 6 to 9 because you know what's on tonight? Nothing good tonight.
No, what's on tonight?
Boring as hell. Every channel's gonna have it on, and I don't want to talk about it. It stinks. One person will like it, Alan.
I don't understand what's on tonight.
Starts with P.
P?
Politics.
Oh.
And I'm not watching that crap.
Interesting.
All my shows are canceled because of that crap. Chicago PD, Chicago Fire, Chicago back.
The nerve of this country to have a presidential election on the night you're trying to watch Chicago PD.
Yes, how dare they? I know, right?
It's ridiculous.
So if you want to come visit us, you may, if you're not busy tonight. I know you're a busy man.
You want me to drive out to Vermont?
No, on my channel, if you want to visit on my channel.
Oh, maybe I'll pop in.
If you're not a busy man, I know you're too busy sometimes.
I don't know. I'm very busy.
I know somebody had the date last night or the other night. Carly had a date with somebody.
All right, it doesn't impact me personally, Bob. My plans are not her plans.
Jake, I think you
Bob.
should go. I think she likes you. I think
Hey,
you
Bob.
like what?
Hey, Bob.
What?
I don't know.
Oh, he's back again.
It's a mystery.
Well, I got other shows. FBI, stupid. Leave me alone.
Bobby's now yelling at the other guy in the green room. He says those
Those
shows are on
shows
Wednesday.
On Wednesday. Yes, I know that today's Tuesday. So FBI shows, Jake. I'm sorry. FBI International, FBI Most Wanted is on. So I like those shows. Okay, I made a mistake. Shut up over there.
Yeah, shut up.
Yeah, I don't even know him. He doesn't even. He types and he can't come in and
Once
chat.
a Jet, always a Jet joins us now. Bobby, say your piece to him.
Bobby, how you doing, buddy? Hey, Bobby, we love you, buddy.
Who the hell are you?
I'm a Jet, always a Jet.
Where are you from?
I'm originally from Lynbrook on Long Island.
Okay, where you live now?
I live in Florida now.
Okay,
Still
I
a
give
Jets
you-
fan, though.
Yeah, I'm a Yankees and
my son is a Jets fan. He lives in Massachusetts. He's 26, still a Jets fan.
Well, he has to tell those Patriot fans go freak themselves here.
Did you like my little joke?
Yeah, it was pretty good. It's better than Roger F's jokes. I don't like Roger F jokes. No.
Bobby, you provide the channel with a ton of entertainment, and God bless you for being a Jets and Yankees fan.
What are you doing December 1st? You should come up and watch the Seattle game.
Oh, I know. Coming from Florida is tough. I try to get to the
Why?
Jets-Dolphins game every year.
Oh, yeah, that you can meet Neil down there. Neil's going to be down there. Jake might.
I always try to see the Jets-Dolphins here in Florida, in Miami.
And then you might meet that other guy, too. What's his name? Keith Best down there, too. He's from Florida. He's going to Jets Miami game. Somebody got him tickets to go. I think that guy, what's his name? King or something. Jake knows who gave him the tickets. He's a nice guy, you know that. He's big black guy. I forgot his name. I can't remember his name. Gary, how you doing?
Oh shit! Oh hey, hey, what up, y'all?
Gary's awesome. How you doing, Gary?
You know, I try my best.
You are great. I love when you come on my channel.
Oh, thank you, Bobby. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
This is the way I like you to talk, not yelling at everybody. That's perfect.
Yeah, it's the Sicilian. I don't know.
I know
just
when
comes
you yell
out.
on my channel, I gotta pipe you down.
All right, you've just piped me down. Let me know. Just
Yeah, I pipe you down.
Like
yeah.
Peyton Manning out the line.
No, I don't like him. I like Eli better.
Hey, Bobby, where did you grow up before you moved to Vermont?
Oh, I was born in the Bronx, moved to Glen Oaks. You know where Glen Oaks is?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Are you old enough to have ever gone to any games at Shea?
Yeah, I went to Shea games.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, because you're 50 something, right?
I'm 56. I'm old fart.
56.
No.
Wow, so you're not that far behind me.
Yeah, how old are you?
61.
Not bad. How old are you, Gary? 41? 40?
41. Yeah, 41.
Yeah, he's the pup right there.
41
Jake's the
pup. I'll
pup.
take it.
No, Jake is the pup. He's younger than all of us. But Gary is younger than us on the screen.
Hi, how are you? Bruce Hall. That's good.
Hi, Lane. How you doing?
Hello, Bobby.
Nice to see you. I sound better, don't I?
Yeah, you sound a lot better, actually.
Oh, I couldn't talk yesterday, right, Gary?
Yeah, I
It was
know.
terrible yesterday. I felt bad for you.
Well, the other day I couldn't talk either. I had thumbs
Yeah, I
up,
know.
thumbs
You
down.
got like no voice.
Hey, you got to come on my show. Once a jet, always a jet.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I will, Bobby. I'll come on I'll definitely check out your show, buddy.
Okay, that's good.
I'm sure it's very entertaining.
I'm sorry I got mad at you before.
Yeah,
No, that's okay. It's all fun.
dancing.
But I give you balls to come on when people come on. I like that. I don't like.
He was dancing at the Jets
Yeah, I
game
was
with
I
his,
was high,
brother.
right, Gary? I was a little high. I was smoking some ayahuasca.
I'm not exactly sure what
that was
that is.
ayahuasca. Nate gave me
Yeah.
ayahuasca.
I'm not
I just
exactly
had to
sure.
laugh, Bobby, because it was watching the video of that game with the Asmaniacs. It was all green and black and white. That's all you saw. It was green and black and white. And there's
Yeah,
Bobby
well, I had an orange shirt on.
screaming with screaming red, orange shirt on. You stuck out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, no, I did. I know. I didn't dress up for Halloween. I went as me, ugly as me, so I went with me. But do you see Noelle at the end of the show?
Yep.
Oh, she was.
What?
That
You just tell people that you were dressed up as a tangerine.
Freaky down.
Oh, I know, Jake. I get excited when I see that, but sorry.
Yeah, he was dancing.
Calm your freaky down.
Oh, I like her.
Yeah, Carly was on the show last night too.
Calm your freaky down.
That was for Lane. Carly was on the show last night. I didn't say that. Okay. Gary, how you like that girl?
Calm your freaky down.
Which girl is this?
The girl who dressed up as a referee.
I don't know who you're referring to,
You didn't
Bob.
see the video of us?
Alas, I did not.
Oh, you got to see the gay that made the whole video.
I'm sure if it's a gated creation, I'm sure it's
Are
5
you in,
stars.
Are you in Jake's Discord at all?
Yes, sir.
So go over there and
I try to stay out of the Discord. It's a pretty toxic place.
well,
Bob.
just watch it. That's all you got to do. You just go by yourself and watch it. Then comment on it when I see you today. Later
All
on.
right.
SEAL Team 75, assemble.
The clapping seals, they're alive and well in the chat.
I love seals. I love seals.
I like seals.
Show the other one. I like the other one that Gary's in. With
I'm not going to do the clapping seal impression.
What do you mean?
I do want to, but I'm not going to do it because Gator's going to use it out of context, and then it's going to go viral, and then I'm going to have to look at it forever.
That was a good one. You like that one, Gary?
It's good. That's good.
I
like
love seals. I like I want to see a dolphin. I want to swim with the dolphins. My
Dolphins
parents,
are a lot smarter than seals. Dolphins are like some of the smartest animals in the world.
yes, they
Oh,
can
yeah.
talk to
They
you,
swim
and
fast,
then
though.
you can ride them. They
We got to win on Sunday.
feel like silk, I think, right? You ever
They win
touch
on
it?
Sunday. Hopefully they can
Once
win
a
another
pot,
game.
always a jet, always a jet. Do you ever
Hopefully,
touch
if not,
a
it's not
dolphin?
going to be good.
You know what else is an extremely smart
Hopefully they get
animal?
convinced.
The octopus.
Yeah.
I don't
Octopus.
care about octopus.
They're very smart.
Yeah, octopuses.
I know.
Make me look like an octopus.
So, do you ever
Then-
touch it in Florida?
I
Do you
know.
ever touch a dolphin? Once
I like
a jet,
dolphins.
always a jet.
Mhm.
Are you
I like
there?
dolphins. Yeah, I like dolphins.
So I want to touch one.
Oh,
Where's
really
the other
swim
guy? I
with
want to
it.
ask you. Oh, are you still there or are you frozen?
No, I'm still here.
No, the
Don't
other
think I'm
guy
talking.
wants a jet. Wants a jet. Are you there?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Do you ever touch a dolphin?
Did I ever touch a dolphin?
Yeah.
No, but I came extremely close to one.
Oh, damn, you lucky.
One came right up to my boat and was like begging for fish once when we were
You
hanging
shoulda
out.
gave
And
him.
that was remarkable. I
But
could
you
have
know,
touched him if I wanted to, but
I want to touch a
dolphins and stuff.
dolphin so much. Maybe when I go to Florida, you could take me on your boat and we could see a dolphin.
yeah, you're more than welcome anytime.
I love dolphins, I tell you. My parents were lucky. They went to this, I think, Aruba or something, some kind of island, and they got to swim with the dolphins with the shits.
Yeah.
I didn't get to do that. I like that. I want to do that. Gary, you ever touch a dolphin?
Calm your freaky down.
Said touch a dolphin. That's
I
not
don't know. I don't know if that has a double entendre. Yes, I've done like swimming with the dolphins and things.
That's
like that.
what I want to do. I want to touch him. I like
All right.
Flipper.
Calm your freaky down.
My God.
Calm your freaky down.
Jake, that's getting ridiculous. Come on in now. It's your turn.
Yeah.
Calm your freaky down.
Didn't say anything, Jake. Stop. God, this is embarrassing. I'm treating myself today for a Pepsi. I haven't had a Pepsi.
That's
for
good.
one time in a long time. Hey, one time is not going to kill me, my doctor said. I asked her. One time. One time, Gary. That's it. I still have my seltzer water.
I get it. Like when I go to New York, I have pizza and stuff.
I
get
love
it,
pizza. I got
get
a
it.
black and white cookie too, Gary. When we were down in New Jersey, they went off
Oh,
the
hi,
train.
Nate. Nate's joining us.
Those are good.
Oh, they were
Nate.
good.
Those are
Black
really
and white
good.
Nate, are you
Gary.
riding someone? Nate. Oh, there's Nate.
He's in Manhattan, right, Nate?
Yeah, I know. I see some buildings.
Yeah,
Oh, wait,
he's
What's up,
over there.
Lane?
Are you going
Hi,
home?
Nate.
I'm here, Lane.
Hi.
Nate,
Yeah,
are you going-
drink.
I hope they win on Sunday, actually. I
I
hope they
can't
win
wait
the
to
game.
this summer first, Gary. We're
Good.
going down see Addison. It's his birthday. Addison's birthday. Jake, where are you?
I'm sorry earlier. They're
Miss
just-
Jake.
Great Upper West Side.
Tell Jake you want to come on
Later
in.
this morning.
Jake, come on in. We want Jake.
Bobby show. He's producing.
Watch out. Don't hit anything over there. He
He's
drives
in your
with a
chair, Jake.
pizza in his hand, too. I can't do that. I
He's
fall
driving a
down.
city bike, I think.
I know. He
It
got a
might
good
be a city
bicycle,
bike.
but I'm afraid of him when he drives with a pizza in his hand. That's crazy.
It'll be
Oops,
okay.
excuse me, I burped.
Bro.
Are you coming to my show later, Gary?
I'm very busy.
I'm not watching what's on tonight. It's crap. 9. It's going to be from 7 to 11. So I'm not watching that crap. No way, Jose. I'm not watching it. I can't watch it. So if you want to come on my show 6 to 9, I know you have kids. You got to leave earlier. That's fine. Who is that? Is that your wife?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, I said hi. I want to meet her.
Right, can I see?
She doesn't want to. She doesn't want to be on screen.
Well, tell her what happened. I thought it was you.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna. We're not gonna.
Did you see that?
Oh.
Oh, is that Gary's wife? Hi, Gary's wife. Oh, there she is. Got a good looking. Sorry, Gary. I didn't mean to bring that up. That's in the past. Oh my.
It's all right. It's okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God. He's
Yeah.
up to a lot of stuff today. Okay, I'm done talking. I gotta rest my voice for my show. Everybody, I love you.
Well, you know, I have my own YouTube show. If I'm awake, I'm going live. Unless Jake has a show, Bobby.
I'm gonna head off too, Lane. How's everything going though? Good? You good?
Yeah.
Good. Good to see you, Lane. Seems like you're doing good. Your internet is working.
Yeah, I guess it's fixed.
How do you
Hopefully
feel
it's
about
working.
how do you feel
Yeah, I
about the
hope they win on
mid-season?
Sunday.
What was
I
that?
hope the Jets win on Sunday.
I hope so too.
Honestly.
I hope they win and the other team loses.
Yeah, I hope.
All right. I'm not gonna do the clapping seal part.
What do you mean?
I do want to, but I'm not gonna do it because Gator's gonna use it out of context, and then it's gonna go viral, and then I'm gonna have to look at it forever.
Yeah. So here. Oh, there you are.
What up, Lane?
Hi.
What's the good word
trade
today,
deadline
sir?
starts at 4 p.m. today. The
Lane, you want a
NFL
drink? I'm about to
trade
get a drink.
deadline is at 4 p.m. Yep, it starts.
Lane, did you vote today? Did you do civic duty?
Yeah, I voted earlier. Can't say for who those private. But it was good. When I went out after, it was nice.
Lane, what should I get?
A bubble tea.
A
You in
bubble
a
tea?
restaurant?
All right, bet. Yeah.
Well, I heard that before. Yeah, bubble tea. It's like little things. Bubble tea.
Okay. Thanks, mate.
Ceiling.
And I didn't hear you speak on the Mike Williams trade.
Oh, there.
You like it? You like the move?
Yeah, I'm seeing where it is. Yeah,
You're seeing what?
I'm just. Yeah, it's nice out earlier. So nice.
Yeah,
out.
it is nice out. Beautiful day, 72 degrees here in Manhattan.
Yeah, I'm good.
Is that a Mets shirt you're wearing?
Yeah, as much as I wish they went all the way this year.
Who is it?
They
Asman
did.
Sui? What shirt is that?
Serzer, I think. Wait, let me see. Yeah.
Who?
Wait, it is. No, it's number 12.
Number 12, Lindor. Hold on,
Yeah.
Lane. I'm going to leave you on my bike for a second. If someone starts to steal on my bike, you just yell for me.
Ah, okay.
If you see anything moving, all right? I just got to go grab my drink.
Excuse me.
All right, we're back. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that commercial break. It's 4 p.m. on the East Coast. The trade deadline has come and gone. If the trades are not in by now, they have not happened. So I decided to stay on and react in real time to any moves that might go down post 4 p.m. Doesn't seem like we're going to get another Jet move. Now, it doesn't mean they can't add to their team. We know Quentin Jefferson was cut earlier. That would be a guy I would like to add because I think they do need a defensive tackle. That, to me, is a huge need. But I'm scouring through Twitter right now, seeing if there's any last-second trade that was reported. Doesn't appear like there is, though, at this point. Doesn't appear like there is. Deals could still be finalized, Micro Fox, but you'll know within the next couple minutes or so. So we'll see. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. It's been an interesting show, to say the least. Look who's on the line right now. I can't believe this. Ladies and gentlemen, the Lane Train.
Hi, how are you? Bruce Hall. That's good.
What's up, Lane? Lane, you're on mute.
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, I had a nice day, and Bruce Hall is going to be good for the Jets now. You have to move the ball around, and they should be playing more better.
I hope so. I met Bruce Hall the other night.
I know.
He's a big
Nice
fan of
to-
yours.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Bobby sounded a little bit better, I gotta tell you.
Nah, I thought he still sounded poor. I got to be honest with you, Lane. His voice still
He's
is
breaking
hurting.
it down. I saw the pictures of him breaking it down with his brother.
Mhm.
And you know who's so nice? Um, Jay Graves and the other person too.
Leany?
No, the one that has the blonde hair. No, his name is Carly.
His name?
Jay Graves is good also. Carly's nice. My
Yep.
internet's fixed. I guess I fixed the internet.
Yeah, what did you do, Lane?
I put the switch button on. Yeah, but anyway, so the game on Sunday, I mean, they got to move the ball. I don't
I
think
agree.
that, like they said, it's not. I mean, Aaron Rodgers hopefully will do better. I'm tired of them hearing about all the injuries. Why do you think the Jets are not going to make the playoffs? Is it because they're not good?
Well, they started 3-6, so the odds are stacked against them.
I know. I'm trying not to argue about it. Just that I'm tired of them. Like, hopefully they could win on Sunday, but I don't know. I mean, it's why it's bothering me. But yeah, hopefully. I mean, like you go through the rankings of the trade deadline coming up, starting at I think it's happening now on TV. So anyway, so how was the wedding? Good.
Yeah, it was all right. It wasn't a bad wedding.
Fun. Yeah, I mean these college teams and every football team that should be ready to and hopefully they could start drafting everybody at the trade deadline. Hopefully, I don't know who else that the Jets could draft. I mean, everybody's saying that Jeff Arburn's okay.
Who?
But Jeff Arburn for the Jets.
Who's
As
Jeff
a-
Arburn?
Jeff, the one that they got when they fired Robert Saleh.
I thought it was Robert Scala.
Yeah, no, Robert Saleh is good. Yeah, no, they fired Robert Scala, and the new coach is good. I think that
You like
I
Jeff
don't know.
what did you call him? What's his
Jeff
name?
Arburn.
Arburn.
Yep. And I mean, I think he'll do good. I mean, you got to think about the way they'll with Aaron Rodgers moving the ball. Since the last game was pretty good. I mean, I watched it. I was a little bit nervous in the beginning of the game, like he dropped it a lot on tape.
Mm-hmm.
You had the person on yesterday, not Jeff Paxton's, the other one, Andrew Farkle. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for taking my call.
Fialco? Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
Andrew Farkle. Okay.
Yep,
Thank you.
Andrew Falco's great. Lane, thank you for the time as always. And anytime you want to call into the show, you know that you are always welcome to join us.
Yeah, I know.
Hi. Sorry, everybody. See you next call when we talk about sports again.
What a call from Lane, man. Andrew Farkle. Jeff Arburn. Pretty sure he referred to Carly as a dude. Lot there that was tremendous. More calls. Let's say hello to Steve as we start to wind down here. Doesn't seem like any move the Jets made happened post 4 p.m. here. Steve, what do you got for us?
Jake, what's up, man? How you doing?
Living the dream, baby.
Yeah, me too. Just got out of work. I'm really pissed about this Mike Williams trade, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love it either. We spent a lot of time obviously reacting to it in the first hour. I just, I'm willing to be. I'm hopeful that the good from this is a role for Corley, and they love Gibson. I don't see it, but we didn't see it with Lazard, and he's been solid. So hopefully, whatever they now do at the receiver spot, they're getting more production than what they were getting from Mike Williams.
I do really like Lazard this year. I'm hoping we get him back soon because I think, I mean, I know we had the drops issue, but I feel like like a couple weeks before his injury, he wasn't really dropping much more, right?
Yeah.
Like he was looking pretty good in the Bills game, Steelers game. Did he play the Steelers game?
Yeah,
No.
I mean, he barely made any plays in these games, right? Like, that was the
That's
thing.
true. That's true. Hail Mary was something though.
That was Lazard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh, you talking about Mike Williams?
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Mike Williams. Yeah.
No, you're right. You're right about that. That he hasn't made plays these past couple games. I was talking more about Lazard. I liked how he was looking before he got injured.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, he had the brutal game against the Vikings, but outside of that, he had his first target of the year was a drop on the opening drive. We remember that, but he's been solid. He caught the Hail Mary, as you brought up, and the tricky thing with Lazard is it's why I'm surprised at the timing of this move. Lazard's out the next 3 games.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just frustrating, man, especially for a fifth too. After all that stuff we went through I mean, I guess it wasn't too much of a big deal when we got him, but everything with that sandwich and everything, I was so hyped up about it. And now it just doesn't really he was doing so good, man. I was super hyped when he would come in for those big like fourth down catches. You know what I mean? He was really good with the 50-50 balls too, man. So, I mean, yeah, he didn't play much more. He didn't play much recently, but I was hyped that we had him. You know what I mean? But do you feel like he didn't want to be there?
I think he wanted to go somewhere where he'd get the ball more. So, yes, I think he wanted to be traded. He's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. He needs to put up numbers to get another contract from someone. So, yeah, I think he wanted to go. And I think when the Jets signed him, they viewed him as their number 2 receiver and it just never worked out.
Yeah, that's a really fair point. That's true. And then that must have just felt like. And then also getting blamed by Rodgers after that one game, too. I'm a big Rodgers fan, man, but I really didn't like that. But I know that was talked about a bunch, too. But yeah, I mean, I didn't watch the beginning of the show, so I didn't really get to see your reactions. I had a busy day at work, so I just jumped off and got right on here. So that's pretty cool that I was able to be the second call after I jumped in. So, but that's pretty much everything I really had to talk about, man. I'm just not really happy about the trade. I mean, I understand it from Mike's standpoint and everything like that, but other than that, I was doing like one of those playoff calculators today. And I look back at how I was thinking about this weekend where, these people got to lose. I really think we just got to win football games right now, man. A lot of people asking me, what do we have to do? Who has to lose? If we win out, and that's still what I'm projecting.
Playoffs?
But I'm still projecting that. If we win out, man, we got a 92% chance of making it. So, I mean, that's obvious. We'll be, 11-6? But even
if they win out, they're making the playoffs.
Yes, yeah. So we just gotta win games, and we gotta stop thinking too much about who's gotta win, who's gotta lose, and stuff like that. But what do you think of that Chiefs game last night with that no false start call?
Bad missed call, and then Todd Bowles not going for 2. I thought was silly at the time. Mahomes 8-2 now in overtime. You just knew they were gonna get the ball and score.
Yep. I don't know. Are you a big refs favor the Chiefs guy, or you don't believe in that?
Well, and they definitely get calls. The Patriots would get calls too. The great teams in the league get the benefit from the officials. That's always how it's been.
Yeah, I guess so. And I mean, everyone makes a good point. It's everybody looks for it with the Chiefs. So obviously, when there is a no call or something like that in a big moment, everybody's gonna freak out about it. So I don't know. Me personally, I think it just happens way too much, man. Especially when you're having for them to be 8-0 is just wild to me.
Yeah, it's tough, Steve. Good call. It's just, having a Hall of Fame coach, Hall of Fame quarterback, and a team that knows how to win. You see it. Even when they don't play at their best, they find a way. But Bowles not going for 2 was gutless. You got to go for 2 there. You're on the road against the champs. Go for the win. You might not get the ball back. But that's always kind of been Todd Bowles. He's done a good job. I don't want to rip Todd Bowles. He's obviously turned himself into a solid coach down in Tampa. But he's always been Mr. Conservative. Always. Stephen T with a super chat before we wrap. Mike Williams is perfect for the Steelers. Russell loves to chuck up bombs, and that's what Williams does. Have crazy numbers and piss us all off. I don't know if he's going to have crazy numbers. I do think he'll be more effective with the Steelers than he was with the Jets. And I brought this exact point up earlier in the show. He is a way better fit for their offense than how the Jets were using him here. Jets didn't give him 1 go ball this year. I can think of maybe 1. They should be giving him 1 every half. He's that type of playmaker. Yet he says, does Williams want to be traded? Yeah, he did. He did. He requested a trade. And then he walked it back and was very cryptic, saying, I'm on the team now. He wanted to go. He wanted to go somewhere to get paid. He needs to put up numbers to get a contract next year. He's on a 1-year deal. He's not getting targets with this Jets team. It's just not. It wasn't going to happen. I disagreed with it, but it wasn't going to happen. Trade deadline has come and gone. The Jets have traded away Mike Williams. We'll see if they add anyone, a la Quentin Jefferson. That's the key. It doesn't appear like there were any other moves, though. There was a deal at the buzzer. The Texans traded backup defensive tackle Khalil Davis to the Niners, so they got some depth there. That was about it. Unreal. What a show. What a time. Thank you all for watching. Hit the like button on your way out of here. Let me know down in the comments afterwards your thoughts on this move. Yay or nay? You let me know. Thanks to all the Asmaniacs for the support. Appreciate you guys. You guys are the best. JETS. Jets, Jets, Jets.
Let's go. That's a job. Let's go. I need it for my out. That's what I'm saying. Let's go. That's a dub. Hey, the Asmaniacs were here to save the day. Season, is it back on? 5 and 6 at the bye. Many are saying it could happen. Get me on that
shit. Excuse me.